The Brooklyn Daily Times, August 9, 1887, files a dispatch on the etiquette of the undead and the sharp cost of getting it wrong. In Baltimore, one man set out to test a friend's nerves by donning the traditional summer uniform of the ghost. A thin white sheet, thin but comfortable in the heat. The friend was unimpressed. He ordered the apparition to halt, drew his revolver, and, when the specter kept drifting, settled the matter with a single shot to the jaw. The joker survived, now nursing a bullet wound. The shooter was hauled in on a charge of shooting with intent to kill, which handed the courts a genuinely novel point of law. How does a man intend to kill a thing already presumed dead? The Times weighed the matter. The defense, it reasoned, might argue that every proper ghost is made of impalpable stuff no bullet could touch, so anyone who dresses as one accepts the consequences. The paper predicted a light sentence. Still, the editors ruled gunfire a trifle severe for the crime of amateur haunting. Their recommended protocol printed in full. In the case of ghosts, use a half-brick with discretion or a club with energy. Paranormal Etiquette, 1887 edition. The ghost, it turns out, is advised to halt when asked.
From ghost etiquette to when to remove your hat, from whether anyone should touch your tarot cards to how you might greet an alien, tonight we explore the strange rules that govern manners on Earth and beyond. Welcome to The Fold.
Look at this hat. It has ruined more lives than you'd believe. Over 80 years, on 3 separate occasions, this humble piece of headwear turned ordinary men into fugitives from justice. Today, history's most underrated crime spree, leaving your hat on. The story begins in 1874 in a newspaper called The Independent Record. The scene, New Albany, Indiana, which, the paper says, has a novel suit on its hands. A band of women are praying out loud in the street directly in front of a saloon. Honestly, the correct venue for that prayer. Standing nearby is a gentleman the paper describes, no exaggeration, as being of Teutonic extraction, which was 1874, for this guy was German. Did he interrupt the prayer? No. Did he heckle? No. He forgot to take his hat off. That's the whole crime. He stood there, hat on head, existing. For this heinous offense, the newspaper's word, a policeman arrested him, hauled him before the police magistrate, and got him thrown in jail for several days. So the German did the reasonable thing and sued the city of New Albany for $20,000, roughly $500,000 today. And here's the best part. The Independent Record does not take the city's side. It writes that New Albany should be forced to pay, as a lesson to the voters, for electing a magistrate with no better sense than to fine a man for refusing to take off his hat in the street. A newspaper called the citizens dumb for their voting choices in 1874. Journalism was unhinged back then. It closes by calling this the most remarkable case brought in America since the days of the Puritans. Big words. Hold that thought, because 39 years later someone tries to top it. Flash forward to 1913, and a newspaper with the frankly incredible name, The New Menace, which sounds less like a paper and more like a wrestling pay-per-view. The headline, "Must Take Off Your Hat to Catholics." We follow one Martin Holk, a mechanic from Frankfurt, who travels to a town in Austria-Hungary looking for work. On his literal first day before earning a single coin, he's in jail. His crime? A Roman Catholic procession passes by, and Martin does not take off his hat. Now Martin has 2 defenses, and both are airtight. One, he's Protestant and genuinely did not know you were supposed to uncover your head for the procession. 2, the greatest part. When the locals shouted at him to remove his hat, they shouted in Czech. Martin did not speak Czech, so picture it. A crowd screaming at a confused German mechanic in a language he doesn't understand, about a religion he doesn't practice, over a hat he didn't know was a problem. He explained all of this very reasonably at the police station. The New Menace ends the story with 5 unforgettable words. He is, however, still in jail. Ice cold. No follow-up, no resolution. Martin's just in there. Good luck, Martin. Which brings us to 1954 and the Grand Rapids Press, under the poetic headline, "Doesn't Doff Hat Nabbed." The scene has upgraded. Forbes Field, Pittsburgh, for a pro football game, Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. And our hero has the greatest name in this entire video, King Blackwell, 23 years old. King is accused of not removing his hat during the national anthem. The charges? Desecration of the flag and resisting arrest. Held for grand jury action. Over a hat at a football game. But King has the most relatable alibi ever recorded. He wasn't protesting anything. He was so intent on finding his seat that he didn't realize the anthem was playing. Anyone who's ever attended a live event understands King on a spiritual level. Here's where it escalates. The arresting officer, rookie patrolman Alex Maxwell, testifies that he snatched the hat right off King's head, and King put it back on. The officer called this defiance. Really, it's a man who paid for a ticket and would like his hat, thank you. Why the arrest? Not for anything violent, but because, in the officer's words, the crowd was getting restless, and he feared a disturbance. So to prevent a disturbance, he created a disturbance about a hat. Beautiful. King's final statement is pure innocence. He meant no disrespect. He'd just come to the ballpark and was aware a band was playing, that's all. That's all, King. That's all. So let's review. In 1874, per the Independent Record, a German man went to jail for keeping his hat on during a prayer, and sued for a fortune. In 1913, per the New Menace, another German man went to jail for keeping his hat on during a Catholic procession he didn't understand, shouted at in a language he didn't speak. And in 1954, per the Grand Rapids Press, King Blackwell went to jail for keeping his hat on during the anthem because he was looking for his seat. 3 men, 80 years, and one lesson history keeps trying to teach us. Take the hat off. Somewhere in some newspaper archive, there's always a guy getting arrested over a hat. That's not history. That's a tradition. So, like, subscribe, and for the love of everything, read the room before you walk past a procession.
This is in direct response to Helen's crazy hat rant last time.
The ghost thing, I thought that was just... But I was shocked. There were thousands of newspaper articles of people getting arrested for not taking their hat off. And it was mostly over religious stuff and patriotic stuff. And then the other one, the first one I thought was hilarious was because I knew it. Was because that was an interesting court case. I don't know how it was resolved, but if somebody is posing as a ghost, if ghosts aren't real, how can you have intent to murder it?
Oh, yeah.
Like
you can't murder a ghost anyway.
Castle doctrine or some weird version of that. It's very
you
weird.
can't.
Yeah.
You can't even murder a ghost, though. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. Well, so this took me down the rabbit hole of mannerisms and etiquette in the paranormal world, and how so many of them come from religious practice too.
Right.
So I literally have like 18 pages of things.
Oh my God.
Wow. It's a lot.
The only one really that I kind of have done is when somebody sneezes and you go, bless you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Same.
You know, that kind of, but most of these I don't really do unless you read the room, kind of, take your hat off if you read the room, if people find that offensive or whatever. Right. But I was really surprised how many of them were religious in nature. And like in the churches, and then that sent me down a rabbit hole. Men were supposed to take their hat off.
And women were supposed to put their hats on.
But women were supposed to keep it on.
Unless
but women weren't supposed to. Right. Well, in Judaism, did they have to take them?
No,
men have to wear a hat.
No, they have to wear a yarmulke.
But they wear a hat to show their respect to God, right? Yeah,
I don't really know why they wear a yarmulke, to be honest.
Always wear those black hats.
You're talking about, that's a particular sect of Judaism. That's not all Jews. Yeah, I don't know the Hasidic Jew why they do that. I think it's kind of like what happened with the same thing that happened with the the Amish. They kind of get stuck in like some weird fashion loophole. Like they get, you know what I mean? It's sort of like, why do the Amish dress like they're from the 1800s? I mean, because that's sort of when they came into their power. I don't know, and they just have these weird rules about not wearing zippers and all kinds of strange rules that they have. And I think the Hasidic Jews are kind of like that. They have weird mannerisms and rules that are not really related to, not really related to Judaism.
You know, one of the things, and by the way, I didn't turn on the phone tonight because I was kind of rushed today, but I want to thank the people that called last time, and we'll have it next time.
That was fun.
Thank you all for being here. So if you have a comment, just type it and we'll display it as we keep going here. But, one thing I was sort of thinking as I was, remember when we did that episode a long time ago of like, if people pour their intent like in a doll or something and it,
right.
Like, okay.
So, you always have to do this when Bove's around. But just to freak Bove out.
She loves the dolls. And I was thinking, but with these religious traditions and, even native traditions and all of these traditions that are done, does it actually help manifest some kind of an energy or a thing, So maybe that's why they do wear the hats.
Well, I know. Well, here's the thing. Like, I was did you ever see that show about the like Amish haunting show? There was like a show that was totally Amish haunting. Yeah.
I only saw like one because it's on YouTube. Yeah.
I saw like the entire series. I watched because it was so weird. I always thought it was really fascinating. But basically, so the Amish are not supposed to use electricity. That's part of their doctrine. So they believe it brings the devil in or something like that. So every single haunting turned out to be because somebody put in electrical wiring in their house when they weren't supposed to. And it was almost like a poltergeist thing where the person felt so guilty that they were going against their religious traditions that it actually manifested weird stuff in the house. And then when they pulled the electricity out, it all went away. So I think your belief can actually manifest unconsciously things that are, if you feel like it's really, really bad luck to put a hat on a bed, well, then it is for you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, in Western culture, the whole concept of when you walk into a room, you take off your hat. In the presence of a woman, you take off your hat, or the presence of somebody that you're showing respect to, you take off your hat as a man. Mm-hmm. All of that goes back to the time of the Middle Ages and knights because they wore these helmets.
Right.
And it was an unspoken sign of vulnerability. This is like, I'm harmless. I'm taking this.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then a lot of manners are very misogynistic.
Right.
I was raised by very old-fashioned Europeans, and so I got manner rules shoved down my throat that are ridiculous. Here's an example. When you walk down the street, the man should always walk on the outside. Now, there's a reason for that, and it's not so that he gets hit by the car first. It's because during the Middle Ages, people emptied their chamber pots out the windows of the second story.
Oh, wow. So women would get the chamber pot.
No.
Hey, Marge Oliver.
No, because the second story was extended a bit, so the man would be more to the outside to bear the brunt of it.
Oh, okay. Well, chivalry.
Yeah.
So he would get peed on then, I guess.
Benevolent misogyny, says Cat. Well, we had, before we get into this, a couple of dream comments that came through. So I thought I'd show these. I hear music somewhere.
Yeah, same.
It's my cell phone.
Oh, this is on the Cosmic Fold Net and commented on the dream about the black gloves. And she saw this scene as kind of like a temple and that we were there to kind of clean up the space in a way, kind of covertly, which, I'm open to any interpretation.
That's an interesting, I like that. That's a good interpretation.
So now this one comes from Linda. she's really smart, I think. I like her comments. She says, I really love this topic because it was extremely relatable. I had a few personal prescient dreams. One of the ones I kept having was constant nightmares of somebody busting through our apartment door and chasing me with a knife and then being repeatedly stabbed. In real life, our apartment was on the ground floor, had a top lock that did not have a key to the other side to get in. Because of those stabbing dreams, I kept locking the top lock after my boyfriend left for his second job, and he had to wake me up mildly annoyed, calling me from a local payphone, this is pre-cell phone days, in order to be let in. He thought I was being neurotic. I reminded him we're on the ground floor and women feel vulnerable anyway on the ground floors. The dreams kept happening for months. One Sunday morning, I saw police cars in front of our apartment. I opened our front door into the vestibule that leads outside, and I looked down and I saw a trail of quarter-sized drops of blood. Apparently, the neighbors who were women, same-sex couple, got into a fight. One stabbed the other with a kitchen knife. Oddly enough, both my boyfriend and I slept through it all. The stabby nightmare stopped after that incident. I never knew if one woman survived, but both women were gone from the apartment as far as I knew.
Wow.
Then she had another dream. I had a friend I had not seen in about 10 years. In the dream, we were all on a bench together. He was sitting between his wife and I. We were somewhere in an office waiting room. In the dream, my friend's temples were graying. I told him it suits him these days. Then I leaned over while sitting on the bench. I looked over at his wife and saw that she had a baby bump, about 7 months pregnant in the dream. I told my husband the story. He thought that was really strange. He shared my dream to a mutual friend who knew the couple, and that friend was absolutely stunned because he had talked to the husband of the couple and found out they were having their first baby.
Wow.
So that was kind of cool.
That is cool.
She really enjoyed everybody sharing their experiences. And then Gray Cat said, most of my dreams are recurring. I have a dream and I remember being in the same place as in a past dream. Or I remember to avoid a situation in the current dream that didn't end well in the past dream. That's a weird continuity to my dreams. But other than that, I don't feel my dreams are avenues where the universe speaks to me.
Interesting.
And I had commented to Gray Cat because when I was going to college and also working full time, I mean, there were days that I would go for 2 or 3 days with no sleep just because there was just so much to do all the time. And what I would notice, hey there, Joy, good to see you. And what I would notice is that around the same time that I would normally dream if I were sleeping, in my mind, I was experiencing a dream. And they had that same continuity that Gray Cat was talking about. And it was like it was like a TV show, like a series, it would just pick up one after the other. So
the next episode.
Anyway,
that's interesting.
Wow.
So you think it's lack of sleep then that caused that? Like your mind didn't get to finish the thought or something?
For me, it was because I was awake. I was aware of what my dreams that I might not have remembered were doing.
Oh, I see.
And so it makes me wonder, like, how much of that,
happens.
It is.
I think it happens a lot.
Like sequentially.
It does happen a lot. Yeah, it does. I think.
Gray Cat says, yes, it's so weird. Right.
Yeah.
And so we might get so used to them that we don't remember them until some kind of crazy one. I wrote one for you, Denise, on your dream repository.
Oh, you did? Oh, good. Okay.
There's one there. And then somebody else had something commented. So folks, if you've got dreams, go put them over on Denise's.
Yeah.
Go to Substack. And
the dream
I don't know,
repository.
maybe I put it in, I hope I put it in the right place. It was a made post and I put it in the comment section.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you're supposed to do. Yep. I'll have to go through them now.
So when you go there, just to help you navigate it, just type dream repository on Denise's Substack. There's a little search bar and it takes you to that. It was May 6th. I don't remember.
It was in the spring. Yeah. That's right.
And in the comments, that's where everybody's dreams are.
There's so many. Yeah, there were. The last time I went through them, there was like 80 of them. There's probably more now, so I'm going to go back through them and see what's going on. Yeah.
So so anyone else, if you get the mine tend to be the ones that I remember, and you'll see what I mean in the one that I posted. They're almost like after all the damage is done and how we're going to fix it. That seems to be the theme that I get. And so it was a very interesting. And so then I looked some of this up, and it actually is kind of legit that it might happen. So you'll find it interesting.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll look forward to reading it. That's cool.
Okay. Now, the only reason I'm showing these slides is so I can add chapters after the fact.
Okay.
So I've got a mix of customs, folklore, superstitions, all kinds of stuff. But the first one is on warding off evil spirits. And I'm just putting those up so I can put chapters in when we're done with the live so I can find it. But anyway, one of the things that they talked about was, now this isn't exactly etiquette, it's more of a custom thing, is that witches used to create bottles, and they would like hide these in different areas of a house to ward off evil spirits. I didn't know anything about that. Are you guys familiar with it? Or
bottles of what?
Probably salt.
Sometimes they would put a nail in it. Some of them they would put like coins or something like that in there. Yeah. And it was supposed to, yes, exactly right. Gray Cat, they're called witch bottles.
Yes, and some of them are so extreme that they would contain menstrual blood and nails and glass, and you're to bury them on your property is the intention that I'm aware of.
That makes sense.
Yeah, see, I didn't know anything about that, but it did remind me of, I didn't see this in some of these tradition things I pulled up and looked at. Oh, there's actually, Great Cat says there's a recipe online there for protection. Okay. And, but one of the things that I keep meaning to make.
Funny.
Good morning. Hey there, Tim. Welcome.
Hey, Tim.
Tim.
I think that's our Tim.
Yeah, that's why we didn't recognize him. He had a different.
Yeah, he had a crazy different name. Yeah.
So one that's kind of local here that I didn't know about, but it reminded me when I was reading about these witch bottles, is there's a Navajo tradition that you don't leave a rusty nail because that's kind of like a curse. So if you find one that's left by a Navajo, and I learned about it from a Navajo. I was walking around, we were doing something, and I picked it up. He goes, "Put that back down, put it back down." I said, "Why?" And he goes, "No, that's like a curse. Never." And he said, if we find them like at our hogan or something at the doorstep, they have like a whole ritual to like release this curse. So that So I don't know if that's just localized to our community or if it's nationwide Navajo. I don't know, but it kind of threw me because he was so animated about that. Hey, Rush. Hey, beautiful soul.
Hey, beautiful soul back. Skinwalker
medicine. You know, you're right, Tim. I think Tim, right? That's his name. Yes.
I think it's
that's really interesting. Rusty nails, especially, are supposed to be potent.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, they can give you tetanus. So I mean, it kind of makes sense why it would be used in this way.
Well, yeah, you walk out of your hogan and step on one. That could be
I mean, just that in itself is a curse, you know.
So another one that came up as one of these rituals is a curator named June Swan started, and she collected like 3,000 of these, where they would put children's shoes in the walls. And that was supposed to, and I've seen a couple of ghost hunting shows too, where they would, or people that are renovating like really old mansions, and they're digging in, you know, removing the walls and stuff, and they'll find children's shoes in there.
That's so weird.
And what was interesting, this building I own is very old. And one of these days, I'm going to put it when I can afford to get a recorder and put in there and see what's in there. Where I did lift part of the floor, I found a little child's shoe in there.
Oh, wow.
And I
what's the purpose?
Yeah, what's the meaning behind the
to ward off evil?
Huh.
It's a protective thing. And so this was an old American kind of thing that they would do. And what I thought was interesting about that is like things appear and disappear out here. And
Right.
There's a funeral home not that far down the street. And every time it rains, that's when I see spirits walking. And there's literally a path that goes back behind. I have seen that multiple times. And so I wonder back in the 1800s if they picked up, if it's like some kind of portal where spirits walk even before the funeral home was there. Because I have seen that multiple times of people going through. And then one of them, I had even described this man that I had seen. He was standing there, and it kind of freaked the people out because I was describing somebody that lived out here in the 60s. And so, you know, I can see them really clearly, and I have no idea what they're doing. They just walk past. And so I'm wondering if maybe somebody had put that little baby shoe in there because they were seeing them too. I don't know. It was just
yeah, maybe. I wonder too, like, are they the same people that you see walking back in? Like,
no, they're always different.
Always different.
And so my sense is that it's like a portal where they're leaving is kind of my feeling about it.
You're living on ghostly Grand Central Station, right?
Yeah, right.
You know, throughout my life, I have lived at places like that. I don't know why. You know, they're not as bad here. They're just like in passing. They're not like living in my house. But I did leave that little shoe there, not really understanding. It was like I don't know when. It had to be early 1900s, the date of this. It didn't look modern at all. And I couldn't tell if it was a girl's or boy. I couldn't tell. But I just put it back. Just had this feeling like. So then I'm reading this, and I had forgotten about that, and it was like, oh, I wonder if they put that there because of this, you know, thing that was going through. I don't know. Crystal Blue, hey there, girl. If I find a rusty nail in my driveway or yard, I'm picking it up and throwing it away.
Yeah.
Great Cat, yeah, same. I don't want that tetanus shot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Rush, wow. So then another custom, and I had run into this one in Dallas where an attorney I knew, she has since passed, bought an old mansion there. And they were tearing out the walls to kind of make a bigger room. And they found a dead cat in there.
Oh, God.
And apparently that was a thing, too, that they would put dead cats in the walls to ward off things. It was just a belief back then. And so so I knew about that one because she was so freaked out, and we were looking it up and found that that was actually a thing. So I don't know if it was a Southern tradition or what it was, but she was a cat lover, and she had nightmares for like
that's pretty scary. That's pretty awful.
You know.
Yeah.
But I have seen that too, where people are renovating these old mansions. It might be a Southern thing. And then they find like dead cats in the walls. And, you know, my first thought would just be they crawled back in there and got stuck, you know, not knowing it was intentional. So,
yeah, weird.
Okay, so our next one, just so I can mark the chapter here, is everyday manners linked to religion. It's Helen's favorite, and Helen follows all of these.
Catholic.
Oh, you want to hear how I offended the Vatican?
Yes, definitely. Please do.
Well, actually, I'm lying. It was the cathedral in Milan. So it's this beautiful building known for its architecture. People go in just to look at the building. You don't have to go to pray or anything. And there was this little troll of a man following me around. He was the sexton. That's the guy who takes care of stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Following me around. Now, I had on a T-shirt, but the sleeves were abbreviated, right?
Sure.
It was like 7,000 degrees. And he kept following me around, saying something in Italian and going like this, you know, like cover your arms. And I knew exactly what he was saying, but
you pretended like you didn't.
Why don't you say something to the guys? I'm comfortable. I won't say what I wanted to say. So I pretended like, oh, okay, you know, didn't speak Italian, and I didn't know what he was. I knew exactly. But it was a great feeling. He
wasn't speaking to you in Czech like that one guy.
Yeah, giving
you knew
middle fingers to the Catholic Church. I felt great.
Well, you knew this. You knew what the tradition was, so you knew what he was probably trying to get you to do. Yeah.
I actually had never been in a church where
They were like that.
Did you cover your your arms? I mean,
yeah, who knows? It was probably some local weird.
No, it's Italian.
It's an Italian thing. Italian.
Well, maybe it's European. I don't know, but
I don't remember. I mean, I've been to whenever I like going to old, like Le Coeur in Paris, or all those old, really amazing, because they're all built on old temples too. I guess they were lucky you didn't put your bra and lit it on fire. Yeah, really.
What bra?
There you go.
Oh God.
That's funny.
That reminds me. I don't know if I should share this story. It's bad.
Oh,
I will.
Tell.
Okay, so before the LDS temples are like consecrated or whatever, they allow us Gentiles to go in.
Yeah.
And so at that time, I was living.
Yeah, they think they're one of the lost tribes of Israel. Yeah.
And so one of the my friend that died, that you remind me of, Denise, she was a school teacher, and so I was over at their charter school, like their tech person, getting their network to work throughout the school. So I got invited to be a part of the school trip to go to the temple before it was consecrated. So we go there in this van, and there was the principal, and the vice principal was a very devout Catholic, very, very devout. And the rest of us were just there because we were curious about what it was. And so you go through this whole thing where you have to watch this thing for like an hour before you could go into the temple. And then you go in and you have to wear like little plastic booties so you don't soil the floor. And there was kind of a protocol, and I have to admit, it was one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen. The art, it was really impressive.
Is this Salt Lake City?
No, it was here locally.
Oh, okay.
But so we're going through there though, and this guy kept pinching me in the ass, and
Pinching
I was just
you in
like,
the butt?
yes. He was
Oh my
like coming
God.
on to me, and it was like everybody's supposed to be somber and
They're
going
very,
through there.
very randy.
And they had like,
Randy.
yes, and they had like cameras all over and watching everything. And finally, I just got so mad at him, and I just like, I hit him. I said, "Knock it off!" And then, of course, all the guards come running, and and he was told to behave, and so that we keep on with our procession. And we get to this one area, and to me, I found it fascinating because it was like very earthy on the base. And then as you go up, it becomes more heavenly and so you weren't allowed like in the very top, like upper realms of it, but it was very beautiful. But we get to this one area, it was like this huge locker room where they had to change and put on their garments to be able to do anything. And the Catholic vice principal, she whips out, because there weren't cameras in there because we were in the women's locker room, and she whips out this bottle of holy water, and she's like,
my God.
and she goes, "Get thee hence, Satan."
Oh my gosh.
God.
Wow.
You remind me of it. I were just like,
Who's the
dying.
crazier?
We are laughing so hard. Oh my
That's
God.
great. I have a similar story. I have a story that's sort of related to this. So I was just met my husband. We had only been dating for like maybe 6 months or something. And somebody in his family died, and there was a funeral. We were in this church, and the sort of patriarch, that he was married to the great grandmother. I didn't know him, at all, but he had been a minister. So we're in this church. All the women were in the back cooking and everything. I went to the bathroom in the church, and as I was walking back, I could feel someone behind me ready to grab my butt. He didn't do it yet. I turned to him and I told him, I go, "You touch me, old man, and I'll kick your ass." I was like 20 years old. And he was like, "Whoa." And then it turned out, I found out from all the women that he was notoriously a pervert, and he grabbed women's boobs and their butts, and everybody had complained to his wife, the great grandmother, and she wouldn't believe them because he was a minister. So I was like, and then he never looked, he was scared of me from that point on. So I was like, yes, good move. He never bothered me.
It is. And it's like, why do they think they could do that? It's just, oh my God, and especially in there with cameras and everything all over. It's like, God,
why do people do that? I mean,
well, have you ever heard of Warren Jeffs?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
perfect.
Yes, very
So
much.
perfect.
I could tell you stories that I can't tell you on camera, but I'm telling you that it's
Pervasive. Yeah, it is.
epidemic. Yeah.
Yes, it is pervasive. Totally.
Okay, so here's another like religious one. Like when you
Okay.
go to a funeral, do you wear black?
That
kinda
used to be
steps back
that
to-
used to be the tradition, but people find it like you're not supposed to do it now for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, really?
I don't go to
I'm behind the
funerals.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that it's kind of like you're not supposed to wear black. I don't know why. I've heard that. It's kind of like,
Interesting.
yeah, just some
Okay,
weird.
This one we briefly covered. The scriptural root cited for veils and hats on women in church, and then, but the men have to take them off.
Right.
Okay, and then I've got another sheet with just like hundreds of them that are more random. But okay, this one is kind of interesting. More paranormal now.
Okay.
Tarot, psychic, and ghost hunting etiquette.
I know more about that probably. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So when you go ghost hunting, and I noticed this when we did that with Rita and stuff too. Like you introduce yourself, you say, "Well, I'm not here to harm you," or whatever. So, what do you feel about that?
For me, I
Yeah.
I haven't done that. Whenever I've been called into a place to figure out what's going on, I just start communicating with it telepathically. So I don't introduce myself to that, I just kind of feel out what's going on. So, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know that matters. I guess if it's a hostile ghost or something like that, maybe that's, but I also know a lot of ghost hunters like try to rile up ghosts and get them to behave, like get out of control, which I think is messed up. So, I mean, my experience with doing it was always like, I'm called in to figure out what's going on. I go in and kind of talk to whatever's there and tell the person what's going on, but I don't introduce myself or anything. I figure they already know who I am. I mean, I don't really think you need to really introduce yourself,
Exactly. Totally, says Rush. I don't think you should rile them up either.
No.
And and if you're called in to help with this situation, that's one thing. But I guess if you're ghost hunting and you just go in their space, basically uninvited.
Yes.
I guess
maybe
I can
so.
kind of see why you would say,
maybe
I'm
so.
just here to, understand the other side if somebody's here. Right. But it would be like if you go into somebody's house and maybe you're the guest of somebody and you say, "Oh, hi, I'm Deborah," and it just out of manners. But I guess if you don't believe in ghosts, you don't have to do any of that. But that riling up stuff, I don't think is a good.
It's messed up, and I think they do that so they can get some kind of evidence or whatever. But really, it's just you don't need to do that. In fact, if you bring someone who's psychic with you, you're going to get evidence. I mean, and if you just try to go in there and rile them up, all you're going to get is attacked. So it's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just ignorant.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So here's another, what is the etiquette about touching somebody else's tarot cards? So you're sitting there giving a reading. Is there etiquette or not? Yes. Or what do you guys do?
It depends on the practitioner. Bove, you want to weigh in on this one?
Since I was 18, the first time I touched my own tarot cards, it was made clear to me that I was going to put my energy into this deck of cards, and letting anybody else touch it would interfere with that. And that's why you just don't let other people touch your tarot cards.
Well, so it depends, like on the reader. So that makes sense, for her. I was told when I was learning to read the cards that you should when you get a new deck, you should sleep with it under your pillow for a week.
That's what, yeah.
And that I do that because it kind of bonds you to your, like unconsciously to the tarot. Some readers I knew, like if you're reading someone physically, they'll let the person cut the cards. And that's usually about as much as people will let someone else touch their cards. But, I don't, obviously, if you're reading someone virtually, they can't touch your cards anyway.
Right.
So yeah, you don't usually lend out your cards to someone else like that. Yeah.
What about you, Helen? Or you just do them virtually or?
Well, no. I've read cards for people in my life. It would never occur to me to touch somebody else's cards because it's bad manners to touch belongings of someone without being
that's
invited,
true.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't see any harm in it if the practitioner invites it.
Right. If you ask them to cut it. Right.
But, people need to keep their paws to themselves,
Absolutely.
Well, and how I did it back in the day when I did do it, I had 2 decks. One was like my sacred deck that nobody even looks at or has seen. And that nobody even sees that one. The other one, I have allowed other people to cut it, not shuffle it, just do the cut. And I noticed that, especially with men, it was way more accurate if I let them cut the deck. I don't know why.
Interesting. Huh.
But it seemed to be more that maybe because they were putting their energy into it more concentrated.
More
I don't know.
of their energy. Yeah.
Right. But for real special, like silent, private, I have that nobody has even seen that deck. And it's very old and
can we see
nobody
what it
can
like?
touch it. Well, and that
yeah. When I was first learning to use the cards, I used the mother piece cards because they came out, in the 80s. That's what I was. And they were great, except for if you try to read for a man, it was totally not. It was really hard to read on so I had to switch to the regular tarot when I went and did readings on like phone readings and read for lots and lots of people, because it was like I was trying to translate this. No, this doesn't work. For some reason it doesn't read men because it's so feminine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something really interesting about a reading I did a couple of weeks ago? A friend of mine is a grandmother for the first time, and this baby was born just a little bit early. And so my friend called me up and she says, Helen, will you read cards on like the parent-child relationship? I said, sure. It was one of the strongest readings I've ever had. It just jumped out.
Right.
And so I didn't know a whole bunch of stuff about all the people involved, and because I haven't seen her kid in a long time. And so I told her, and she kept going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, that's so true. And it's unfolding now, months later, to be really true, which is so interesting.
Nice.
Because it evinced from this parent a completely unexpected new way of living and approach to life and a way of interacting. It's really interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
Nobody touched those cards.
Well, Justine, hey girl, we're going to get our films up pretty soon. But she says it's the same rule for crystals, and you are exactly right, Justine. Russ is beautiful. Woohoo! And another thing with psychics, like psychic etiquette. I don't know if you've dealt with this, especially being like a public reader, and you too, Helen. Like if people just think they could just, instead of treating you like a normal person, think you're an oracle. It's like, let's have lunch. And then they just want to ask you questions constantly.
That used to happen to me when I was younger. Yeah.
Like you have a friend who's a doctor and you see him at a party and you go,
that's what would happen.
Look at my rash.
Right. Exactly. I would go to parties and everyone would ask me about all these things and want me to give them readings and stuff. Yeah. But luckily now I'm pretty isolated. I don't deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
I just stopped doing it. It was just so bad because when I was in Dallas, I mean, I was exhausted. I was, billing all these hours, having to be a rainmaker for this law firm, going to college full time. And then I'd get home and it's like 11 at night. And there'd be this line of people there just uninvited wanting readings. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And it's especially gay men, they were the worst. And they were just like, and then it happened to me for a little while when I moved out here, somebody who had known me from Phoenix. And this kind of leads me to the next question. She would just like show up all the time. I think it's rude to show up at people's houses without calling anyway. That's one of my big pet peeves. Just show
But
up,
on one of those lists.
Yes.
Never do that. Yeah.
And but anyway, she would, even putting that aside, her questions were always like, if you would tell her, well, it's not going to work out with this boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then just keep showing up and just wanting to like force this issue.
Yes.
And wanting the same. So asking like the tarot cards, I think that would apply to crystals.
No, you can't.
Apply to anything.
You can't do that. You're not going to get a real. I've had clients like that. And you can't. It doesn't work. I mean, you can't. They keep asking the same question, and the cards just stop working. I mean, it's just like the oracle. You got the answer. Stop asking the question. You can't change this. This is not how you change it. You have to change yourself internally. Yes. The cards are just a reflection of that. It's not. I can't make it happen by the cards going into. I had a friend in college who spent 6 hours in her dorm room giving herself readings until she got the lover's card about this question because she liked this guy. And I was like, that's not going to help. He's not going to go out with you just because you got the lover's card after 6 hours. It's like, that's not how it works, you know?
Well, there are people who, psychic, they go from reader to reader to reader to reader.
That is what the psychic lines are a lot about. Yeah. People who want to get this particular answer. They'll go to 30 psychics and try to get you to say what they want you to say, which I don't really understand what the point of that is. But I think it's like magical thinking. It's magical thinking. Magical thinking. What it is.
I always think if the answer that you get is not what you want to hear, that is the message that you have to figure it out in your life, that it's not going to be handed to you on a silver platter.
Well, and especially, with this person, it was like, what was right on, Crystal Blue, the cards got tired and came. Mm-hmm. And, with this person, I kept telling her, this one isn't going to work out because he's going to use you. It just felt like, because he was quite a bit younger.
But that's not the answer. Right.
And I said, there's somebody else kind of in the wings if you would just give him a chance. Right. But she was so fixated on this one guy. And I kind of got wind that she then started dabbling. And this, I think,
and black magic.
If it's an etiquette. Well, not even just necessarily black magic, but putting his name on the vision board.
That is black magic. That's black magic. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
That's
and like I have to have
somebody else's will.
That's correct.
Yes, and I have to have this person. So it's kind of like if they're going to keep asking the same questions, it seems like they kind of go off in that realm too. Like if I'm not going to get the answer I want, then I'm going to mess around with the universe and make it.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's really bad. And so I want to say two things about that. The first being that when I started in the 90s, early 90s, doing readings professionally, people didn't believe in any of this stuff, and they didn't know what to think of it. So you would do readings for people and they were like, wow, this is so weird. This is blowing my mind. And so you didn't get a lot of pushback during that period of time. People would just accept what you were saying and then be kind of like, whoa, that's weird. But as it became more of a cultural phenomenon and people in the psychic lines kind of proliferated, when I went back into working on a psychic line, like about 15 years ago or something like that, or 10 years ago for a period of time, it was ridiculous because basically you were just getting these people who, that's exactly, every call was like that. They were obsessed with a certain thing. They just wanted you to tell them this thing. And if you didn't tell them that thing, they would report you as being, try to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
And, and all this horrible stuff. And I was like, and so the people that ended up becoming really successful in terms of, getting a high pay rate and people getting all the stars were just people who told people what they wanted to hear. And that's not really psychic readings. So that's the problem with a lot of those lines, is that they're sort of pressured. Psychics are pressured to lie to people by the people who are getting the readings. So you have a hard time really telling people the truth because they don't want to hear it. They go to the psychic line for comfort, I think, to hear what they want to hear instead of really getting a reading a lot of the time. And then this other thing, when I was working at this one place early in the 90s, one of my managers in this, because it was different, we were actually in spaces like with other psychics, and this guy, I remember, I will never forget the story because it was so weird. He was a gay man, okay, but he had been married to a woman, and she was really jealous, really, really jealous and possessive. And she was into Centuria, I guess. And she decided to bake this bread with her menstrual blood in it and put a spell on him that he would never sleep with another woman.
Or never have a sandwich again.
So she did the spell. She fed him the bread, and he instantly became gay, and he never slept with her either.
Oh, that's good.
I was like, wow,
that's fucking good.
Yeah, that's like what you call kickback, man.
And on the flip side of this too, and then I think that is it Tim or Jeff? Tim has a really good question. But on the flip side of it too is that if you're getting a reading, you have free will too. So the reader is seeing the possibilities of something that may be in your sphere. The energy might be there.
That's right. Where you're going.
You can reject
change it.
You don't
and
have
you can
to
change
do that.
it.
Yeah,
100% depends on your choices.
Absolutely,
exactly.
yes.
But some people, don't look at a reader, whatever, as like some kind of god or divination or whatever. I think that's a problem too.
It is a problem, big problem.
It's not fortune telling.
Right.
Well, the future's not really set in stone. It depends on our free will choices.
Exactly. Cause and effect, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Can I say something about Tim's question?
Yeah, let me read it so people listening. And I think it's a great question. I have a question in return. If you read someone on a question and reading, how long should a person go before having another reader?
A different reader,
or even the same reader. One. I think
any reading. I don't think you should get readings. Okay, for me, like, because I do astrology, and sometimes I kind of end up kind of almost being like a therapist to people when they're going through traumatic periods. And so in that capacity, it's not a real problem because I'm just trying to counsel them through their situation. But to get an actual psychic reading, like where I'm talking about what's going to happen in your future kind of stuff, you shouldn't really do that more than once every few months, in my opinion. That's what I tell people, like, if you're going through a crisis and it's not going to be engaging me to like tell you something different, it's okay. You have questions about other aspects of this thing you're going through. I can try to help you solve those problems. So it really depends on the situation, but a psychic reading, if it's like where you're going over the next few months and your trajectory, you get, I'll give you an example. Like, there was this woman, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, who, I don't know how she found me. She didn't find me on YouTube. Somebody told her to call me randomly. Okay. And she didn't have, and so she calls me and I'm telling her, it was a totally psychic thing. I was like, your husband is going to get violent. I'm afraid he's going to try to kill you and your kids. You got to get out of there. Okay. So that was clearly, and you have to get away from this guy. He's dangerous. Okay. So she's like, no. And I'm like, he's seeing someone else. He's doing all these things. Okay. So a few days later, she books another reading with me. And the next day after I told her that, he did indeed come home, get violent with her kids and her, and she was afraid for her life. Okay. So she ended up leaving him. So she ended up, because I had been right about that one thing, now she had this outsized kind of like everything she thinks or everything she wants to do, she has to talk to me. And this has happened to me before, many situations. And I'm like, and she would want to know an answer. And I'd be like, well, this is what I see. And then that wasn't what she wanted. So she'd come back and
argue with you. And
she would come back over and over again. So finally on a Saturday, on my day off, I call her, like, we need to talk about this. You can't keep doing this. This isn't going to work. I'm not going to give you good answers. You're just wasting your money. I don't want to do that, and this is not healthy. And I can't really read like the same question over and over again. It's not how it works. And so I continued to talk to her about logistical things if she was in a crisis moment. But I would tell her, look, I told you what the answer was. I can't change this for you. this, it is what it is. Like, but she couldn't deal with stuff. She didn't want to hear anything bad. So she would just kind of keep hounding me to like give her the answer she wanted. And again, that's a waste of your money and time. Don't do that with a psychic. It's totally a waste. It doesn't work.
Did she finally accept what you were saying, or did you have to get
It took a long time. Oh yeah, I had to do it more than one time. Yeah. Mm.
Wow.
Yeah. And she wasn't a bad person, but she was very lost, and she was just, and I think because, like I said, when you do give someone information that's totally outside what they thought that's going to happen. Like I remember doing this for a friend of mine who was very skeptical. It was back in the early 90s. And he's like, I don't believe in any of that crap. I'm like, okay, I'll just give you a reading. And I told him all this stuff about the woman he was seeing. It was very weird. I mean, it was not what he thought at all. And he comes to me like a few days later, a week later, and he said, everything you said turned out to be accurate. And then he would call me like every time anything happened. Well, what do you think about this? And he would call me like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. I'm like, stop doing that. That's not how this works. You know what I mean?
Rude. Yeah.
It's rude and it's crazy. But because you get, this is the thing people don't understand, is that psychic stuff is, there are certain things that are like people tune into, and then everything else is kind of on you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is coming. Watch out for this. But that doesn't mean I'm God. I'm not omniscient, and nobody is omniscient. You know what I'm saying? But I think because you freak them out and put them in this weird state where they go, oh my God, I had no idea that was going to happen. How did that person know? Then they kind of get into this weird dynamic, a power dynamic that's really unhealthy. And you have to deal with that as a psychic. Yeah, sometimes.
So Rush wanted to know what Santeria is, and I looked it up so I don't muddle it up. I mean, I know what it is. It's pretty popular in like Louisiana and Florida and some of those places.
Yeah, it's
an Afro-Caribbean religion that blends West African Yoruba traditions with Roman Catholicism. So it's kind of like a blend. I think where a lot of some of that stuff comes from is, the church tried to take over and force people to.
Right.
So it's like a blend of their traditional.
But like voodoo is like that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So but I think it's quite popular in Florida. There's quite a bit.
It's popular a lot in the Hispanic community too.
Yeah.
And voodoo. Okay, that's the thing. None of these things, like voodoo, hoodoo, Santeria, none of those things are necessarily black magic. It's all how you do it. So that's the thing. Like, you can be working only on the light side in any of those traditions, but those traditions don't really, that's up to you. You can go dark, you can go light, you can go gray. And that's how it is in Wicca too, for a lot of people, or ceremonial magic or any kind of magical thing. That's dependent on the practitioner. But I personally don't think you should never do black magic. It's just, first of all, the stories I've heard about people putting love spells on other people, they just backfire. Anything you do like that backfires, you get blowback. It doesn't work out how you want it to. All you do is have increase your chances of becoming mentally ill by like 1,000%. People lose their minds doing black magic. It's just really dumb. In fact, I think kind of like the whole thing with the vision boards and the manifestation stuff, I believe this is part of the reason we have Trump. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but the over attachment to materialism and manifestation, and people don't realize what they're messing with. You're trying to like control the universe. You're not here to control the physical world. You're here to be, embody, and experience and do your best and learn and grow, not like get a Porsche because you chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo 5,000 times. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That's not what it's for.
And so when you do stuff
like that, there's blowback.
Kind of off topic, but one of the things in these dreams that are really stick with me that I've had lately, like after the fact, after all the crap has happened, there really is a huge return to more just living with the earth, a sense of community. It's not all that materialistic stuff like we have now.
Right.
So I think you're right about that. It's like this is coming up to a big head, basically, about material. And the thing is, one of the things that kind of struck me, I know this is still off topic, but it's like, look at all the illusion that's coming with AI.
Yes.
You know, we don't know what's true, what is real, what is not.
That's right. That's right.
And in a way that kind of mirrors life on Earth in a way.
Yes, it does.
We don't know what's real or what is not. And it's like we're just amplifying it and putting electricity into it and just
it's a shadow of our own.
It.
It's our own shadow that we created. It's like a shadow of us without empathy, just logic gone amok, you know, with no guardrails. It is the beast. I mean, it's like a shadow version of humanity. It's like a way worse.
And we're just pouring tons of
resources into
energy.
Us.
Yeah, tons of energy into this, whether we want it or not, whether it's going to harm us or not, because it's just like blowing this huge thing that's just not even real. It's not real.
Yes, it's an illusion. Yeah, it is.
I think that's what's getting to me about all of it, life on Earth these days. But Breakcat says, I feel like you should be able to guide yourself too. Being too reliant on others to give you 100%. Advice is not healthy.
I agree,
with
100%.
You, Breakcat.
Yes, you're totally right. Absolutely.
It's like having the answers to the test before you take the test.
Right.
Does nothing. Learn nothing. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And you know, you just have to kind of be in the moment and learn what you're supposed to learn and just deal. I mean, nobody wants to suffer. Nobody likes going through that stuff.
Right.
But you only learn through suffering.
Too
I mean,
bad.
you're not gonna
To be here, so.
Yeah, you know, you don't really learn when everything's going your way. You know what I'm saying? It's not the time when you're really being challenged too much, you know?
So Rush says maybe energy manipulation. Ooh, you don't want to
anytime.
Do that,
what did she say?
No, what I was saying was it's those times when you want to blow your head off. Those are the learning times. That's where the lessons come. That's where you need to pay attention and look inside yourself for your own growth. It's a save yourself kind of thing.
Yeah, the harder something is on you, the more likely you are to actually learn something from
That's right.
Yeah. Like making steel, I always say they strengthen steel by putting it through the fire.
Well, just think about when you're driving a bike up a steep hill. That you really work out your muscles, you know. Then you go on the other side, you're coasting. It's like you don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? That's kind of how life is. So you have moments where you're coasting.
Which part of the hill do you like better?
I like coasting. Everybody likes to coast. Nobody likes to do the hard.
I prefer going uphill because we're in the mountains here, and going downhill scares the hell out of me.
Oh yeah, you're going too fast.
Going downhill one time, and I thought there was a truck behind me, and I'm looking, you know, and I'm scared I'm going to like flip into traffic, and there's no truck, and I realized I was going so fast. I sounded like a truck going down the.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, oh my god, what if the brakes don't work? What if I can't stop this before I have to cut through traffic? So the uphill for me was, I preferred.
That's funny. Well, there's no resistance. You're just spiraling out of control. That's the other thing that can be bad about coasting. Yeah.
Yep. So maybe energy. I think Rush is talking about.
What I was talking about.
You know, the same like black magic-y kind of stuff there.
Yeah, black magic is anytime you try to impose your will on anything that's outside of yourself. The only magic you should work is on yourself. That's the only light magic there is.
You know, we were having a conversation this weekend, and what has come to me repeatedly since Trump being reelected has been a lesson that I learned in Aikido. Right. And it was called the art of non-resistance.
Yes.
And so you take somebody else's force and you just deflect it.
Right.
And so they had these exercises in there, and literally a man like 6'4".
Oh, frozen. I know her story she's going to say. There's a man. I don't want to like steal her story. She told me the story. That's right. Well, this really giant man came at her, and he was way bigger than her, and she just used his energy against him and flipped him. But that's what Aikido, that's what you do, is like you just learn where the energy spots are and kind of learn to work with the momentum of the person. I took Aikido.
Oh, wow. I've
So
never
you-
heard of that.
Aikido masters supposedly can use their finger and just touch the person and flip them around because they're using their own energy against them.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Welcome
that's why
back.
we don't have that's why we don't have the phones tonight, because it's storming here and our internet
Right.
goes in and out during the storm. So,
That makes sense.
but I saw that personally with, we went to this thing and there was this little guy, he was smaller than me. And they had all these guys coming because it's sword fighting. I've got a sword back there, a wooden one from that. And it was like in the blink of an eye. He had all of these big guys coming at him. And then they're all laying on the ground. And this little tiny Japanese man, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And so that was what and so that's been coming to me a lot lately, is that this is also why we're manifesting what we are right now, this craziness. Because, what do they call it? The resistance. Join the resistance. Well, the more you resist something, the more you're going to create it.
Persist.
And
Yeah.
so it's almost creating that kind of thing instead of just taking that force and deflecting it off of you. It's a tough concept, but it's one that I've been thinking about a lot lately.
I think, though, in that situation, like, so, Aikido is a totally defensive art. There is no offensive moves in Aikido.
Right.
So it's all about defending yourself. If someone is, I think the metaphor of that, of like trying to use someone's own negative energy, just use it in their flow and let them destroy themselves, right, is a great metaphor. Yeah. So just using the energy to show what the person's doing is, there is resistance in, like, you're resisting their attempts to hurt you or to attack you, but you're just redirecting the energy away from you.
Exactly. So it's just a redirection thing.
It's a redirection. Yeah.
One of the things that was so powerful about Aikido was that you really couldn't get away with a lot of shit in that. And so our dojo was in this really bad area of Phoenix, but it was the only place that didn't have graffiti or gangs there. It was like the energy was so strong, and it was taught by a genuine sensei from Japan.
That's cool.
But you weren't allowed to have ego in there, right? And so they had like all these young kids that were like juvenile delinquents, and they wanted to get them into Aikido, and they were having us demonstrate and everything. And I was feeling pretty good that day, man. I was doing my sword pretty good and whatever. The minute I felt, oh yeah, I'm doing pretty good, well, my pants fell off right in front of all these young boys.
That's great. That's hilarious. That's awesome.
My only thought, other than, okay, keep it in check, Deborah, was it's a good underwear day. Thank God.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
But that Aikido taught me so much about energy, and so maybe that's why I'm thinking about it a lot lately.
Yeah.
But it was very powerful. About AI, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the question about Santeria. Oh, that's about the energy manipulation. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, energy manipulation.
LOL. Yes, true. The other etiquette type of thing that came up in my research is Ouija boards. Now, I personally don't use them. I don't know if you guys do.
I have used
but
them.
Apparently you're supposed to, like, say goodbye at the end.
Yeah.
And close it out. So what is the etiquette with Ouija boards?
You go ahead. Go ahead. Take it, Helen.
My husband and I, we were with a couple that were friends. 4 of us were, I don't know, playing bridge or something. It's before I was married. And so we were joking around. We were engaged. And this is what was happening. Our wedding was coming up soon. And so somebody had a Ouija board and pulled it out. And we said, okay, let's ask it questions. So he and I put our hands on it. And we asked, how many children will we have? Of course, right? And this thing started spelling, I mean, really strongly. And my husband kept saying, "You're pushing it. You're moving it." I guess
Right.
no, I'm not. So it spelled out a guy's name, the address he lived, place where he worked, what he did for a living, all of it like in the past and in an area very close to where we were, that it would have made sense, right? And so we were drinking,
Of course.
and we were joking around, asking stupid questions. I don't even remember what, out laughing and having a big yuck, right? And finally, it started spelling out the full word, F-U, F-U, and
Wow.
the thing flew off the board.
Wow.
And that was in 1979, and I've never looked at another Ouija board.
I don't blame you. Oh, that's pretty.
Wow.
Yeah. F you. Yeah. You got met.
Well,
That's
I
good.
had heard-
Of you.
I had heard you shouldn't drink and
No,
do
you shouldn't.
like the spiritual kind of stuff or drug or any of that kind of.
Well,
So
what did I do?
I don't drink when I. Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't drink. Yeah.
Because
I was
lets
approaching it as a
stuff
game.
in.
I
Yeah.
wasn't
Well,
even
it was
thinking of in any kind
designed
of
supposedly as
yeah.
a game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, that's because of the spiritualist movement. I think it came out of in bars. They used to take a glass, turn it upside down, and like write the the letters and numbers on the bar thing, and then they would do that. And then they developed that, but they didn't. The people that do that, what they knew how to deal with it. You're opening a gate, so you should have respect for that and know that you're opening something up, and that you should close it down, like when you're done, and maybe do protection, make sure you're not bringing in something really negative. But Lorimar, what kind of owl is it that's in your backyard tree right now? That's wild. Can you see it? Wow, that's great.
And
That's
she hears
interesting.
She hears them every night.
yeah.
Probably have some kind of nesting situation going on.
I learned the hard way. The board by not being careful and respectful. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know who that is. That's Jeff.
Oh, hey Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
It told me I'm dying in 2029. Kind of makes sense considering everything external.
Oh, well, don't be a
Well,
self-fulfilling prophet.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not.
You
hopefully
can get hit
not.
by a truck tomorrow. You don't know.
Oh yeah, you might get off planet sooner. You never know.
Oh my god!
I think
We're all dying,
great.
Jeff. All of us right now.
I think the thing with
Hard.
all of,
Wow, that's cool.
can't see it but
Yeah.
hear it.
The owl in your backyard. I mean, my experience with owls being, there's some kind of like I believe it's a barred owl too that screeches really loud. And maybe it's a barn owl. It's a barn owl, not a barred owl. Oh my god,
Sorry.
There it is.
that's weird. It's like every time the war heats up, every time that it's like this thing will go crazy like at night, and it's really creepy. But usually, like unless you have, even if you have owl medicine, like you're somebody who has like a special connection with owls. Owls come as messengers of things, so they usually show up to like try to tell you something. So pay attention to what maybe meditate on that. That's been
Symbols of wisdom too. So maybe it's a reassurance you're on the right track. You're doing something that
in my experience, that's not why owls come to you, even if they're your totem.
In your experience,
Yeah, in my experience, they usually come as a warning about something.
they come as aliens.
Or she has a big UFO. I was just gonna say she's got a big UFO hovering over her place.
Yeah, they are
because it might
connected
just
to that
be-
They
too.
just are. They're
Yeah.
not a portent of anything. They're just around. They just are.
Yeah.
They live here.
So great cat.
Well, yeah, they live here, but if you interact with them, it's different. Because like you can live in an area like I live all surrounded in forest, and I have seen, I don't normally see or hear owls. Every once in a while you see or hear it now. It's been my experience when they come into dreams or when you see them. Like for example, when I first moved here, I was giving this woman a reading, and I, instantly when I talked to her on the phone, I knew she was going to be divorced and that she was a horse person. And she wasn't divorced yet, but I thought she was already divorced. But anyway, so I was giving her a reading about her relationship. And as I was giving her the relationship reading, and we were outside at a Starbucks, okay, in a kind of urban-y part of the city area. I saw this massive owl, like one with the white ones, you know, the white face ones. I can't remember what they're called right now. Just flying like right behind her. Like it was not next to her, but it was far down there. And like, oh, this is not good. Within a few months, she got divorced. So, I mean, I'm not saying that you're going to get divorced if you have an owl sighting. Okay. I'm just saying that usually it's a bearer of something coming that you need to pay attention to. Like, for example, another instance, my friend Mary, she got diagnosed with cancer the first time. I felt like, okay, she's going to be okay. I told her, I go, you have an underlying immune disorder, I think, and you need to get that checked out. I just had this feeling for years. I kept telling you this. You need to go and get checked for this. She wouldn't do it. So, okay, so finally she got healthy. And I'm like, come on. You know, she went through chemo, get that checked out. She did not. So within like a year, she got a second cancer. Her cancer came back. And as she was telling me on the phone, a massive owl swooped down. It was one of the bigger ones. I don't remember which. It was just a massive owl came swooping down as she was talking to me and landed on the house across the street. I'm like, I knew instantly this is going to kill her. Like this time it's going to kill her. And I'm not saying it is always something like a change. It doesn't mean it's you personally that's going to have something terrible happen, but it just means like pay attention to your surroundings. You're not seeing something, or there's something hidden here that you need to pay attention to. When you have an owl like that come into your life, it's always a sign of something like that. Like right before my dad died, there was always owls hooting around the house constantly. And this is why in a lot of lore, people are freaked out by them, because they have that harbinger. They're messengers of like something is going to be troubling coming. They're not trying to scare you. They're just trying to warn you to pay attention to what's going on. But because they have that affiliation in a lot of Native American cultures, they're considered to be kind of dark or evil, even though they're not. They're not at all. They're trying to help you. But I'm just saying, so owls are messengers from the other side, trying to warn you about things you're not either seeing or things that you need to see and face that are not always pleasant. That's what I've noticed about them. And I could go into a million other examples of that, but those are just a couple.
So Grey Cat brings up over the thing about 2029 that it might just be an exit point, just a possibility.
It's a possibility, yeah.
Have, like a lot of exit, like you could choose your exit point. The LOL, yeah. I think has to do with the pants falling off.
Yes.
So Lormar, I live near
the
you
Metro live near Park. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, owls are creepy. A lot of people think they're creepy because of this, but I love owls. I absolutely adore owls. I am such a fan of owls.
You could be getting a letter from Hogwarts.
Hogwarts, yeah, right. That's true.
I don't know. I love owls, and I don't.
Mothman.
For me personally, I don't consider them a harbinger of anything negative.
I don't either
at all. But I'm into birds, you know.
But I'm not. It's not negative though. I don't. I mean, even though these are, I have had a lot of encounters with owls. Very weird encounters with owls. They're like one of my totem animals. So they're not negative, but they are warning you that something danger is afoot or something is afoot that you need to just use your vision to see. And that doesn't mean they're not telling you it's like, they don't usually come though, unless there's something big, you know what I'm saying? Like something big happening in your family or in your environment, you just need to pay attention to. That's all. They're not trying to be bad. There's nothing wrong with owls. Owls are fantastic. But, yeah. So, I mean, if you know, yeah, that's my experience with owls, at least. Yeah.
We have lots of them, I think she's saying.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
I mean, if you live in an area.
Crystal Blue. Don't blame the messenger.
Don't blame the messenger. Exactly. Don't blame it. I mean, obviously, if you live in a forest where there's you're in a spotted owl forest where there's just tons of owls, it doesn't mean anything. But if you live in an area where there's not normally, even I live in a foresty area, there are owls around, but you don't see them or hear them usually, unless there's some kind of court like tie-in. Like, yeah, you'll notice it if you pay attention to the pattern. Yeah.
So
I love
happens
crows too.
to be crows.
I love crows too. Oh, they come as messengers? Owls light up dark places we aren't looking at. That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Good way to put that, HBN.
That's right.
HBH, and good to see you, by the way. We have
It's a
lots of
wildfires.
wildlife, lots of food. There you go.
Oh, good. Well, maybe it's a warning just to be prepared for something like that. That could be all it is.
Maybe they're hungry.
Now, I don't know if this was a sign. I don't believe it was, but it was so cool. I don't even know how it got in my house, but
when was
yesterday
this?
morning. This was yesterday. It wasn't an owl.
Okay.
They're called leaf bugs. So
those I love those. Oh, I take everything like
and
this
it was
as a
like
sign.
probably like this big, and it had like, and
I love
the
those.
wings were like perfect leaves,
Oh,
like
wow. Yes, I've seen
off
those.
of
Those
my
are great.
main plants,
Camouflage.
trees outside.
Yeah.
But it was in
Camouflage.
my place, and it was just kind of like, wow, how cool! Was that? I hadn't seen one of those in years, and
That
I
is
don't
a
know how
sign.
it got in. But
It is a
it
sign.
was very
Yeah.
cool. Like, it made me feel very happy.
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I personally think.
broken screens.
No, look. You may not notice this stuff, Helen, but if you pay attention to nature, nature talks to you. If you're walking and you, like, for example, right before I left here, like left Burbank to move to here, there was this praying mantis that showed up, and it was pure white praying mantis.
White one. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was very weird. Now, I had seen it. Praying mantises started showing up around my house right before we moved. And then we were having a garage sale, and there was a woman across the street, and her close friend and me were all having a garage sale together. This praying white mantis was around, and then it decided to just park itself on her shoulder, and it would not move. It stayed there for a really long time, like for hours. And I was like, that's just weird. That's weird. Okay. And she had some health problems, but she said she was doing fine. The next time I talked to that neighbor, I asked about her. And now I don't want to freak everyone out, but she passed. She passed within a few months. And I thought, okay, this, whenever you see a white animal, it's a special spirit message. Like when I started this psychic group, the day I started it, I went for a drive and saw a white deer, a completely albino deer.
Wow.
And I was like, this is a symbol of like this is good. It's a good sign, right? So, you may not believe in this stuff, but I have noticed that there's always correlations when you run into certain animals with different aspects of your life. Like when we first moved here on the other side, I kept seeing there was grasshoppers. Like grasshoppers would land in our car. Grasshoppers would be on our screen. Then I didn't see grasshoppers again until recently. I haven't seen a grasshopper in like 15 years or 13 years until like recently again. So, I mean, you'll notice
So
that.
what does that mean?
Grasshoppers are leaps, a leap. You're taking a leap, a new path, a new leap into your life, like kind of like the Fool card. You know what I mean? Like there's a big change coming for the better. You're taking a leap forward. If you pay attention to it, you'll start to see that there is always a correlation between those things because they're not just random. I don't think if this is really how I think of the universe is we're all connected, and why an animal decides to come to you for a certain reason, or why you happen to be in the same place as that animal, especially when you don't normally see that animal, that is significant. Now, if you go to a zoo, it doesn't have any meaning because,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think especially if they evoke like awe or wonder or joy like this leaf did.
Yes, that's a good sign.
Or fear, yeah. It is some kind of message. And the other thing I've been seeing are, and they're so darn cute. The biggest, rounded, fattest bumblebees are all over my flowers. Yes, and they're so cute. They're really fat, chunky ones,
Well, that's about being industrious. Bumblebees are about being
and I've
industrious.
had all kinds of them in my flowers, and it just makes me so happy because we need those, and I get hummingbirds and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And those kind of things, even though they're like not like so, they just make me feel a lot of joy for some reason. Just looking at them makes me happy. So
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. And also they just make you feel better and you feel connected to nature. All of that is good. When my daughter was graduating, that day she started graduating, a little doe came and was her mom, for whatever reason, it's never happened before and it hasn't happened since. The mom had her sleeping right under my daughter's bedroom. And I have pictures of it. There was like a set of bushes and then my daughter's and she was sleeping right there. And she slept there for 3 days. She kept coming and going. And then she left. I mean, I was worried about her because I was like, what's going on with this poor deer? Like, is she sick but I kept checking on her and eventually she went back. Her mom came and got her, but she came
was just there to support your daughter. How cool is that? How cool.
Weird. Yeah.
That is really neat. We've got some comments. I need to read them before I lose them. So an easy life for me. Thank you for joining us. I've worked with birds of prey and I've personally worked with owls on a daily basis for many years. So it must have muted their, you're used to them.
Yeah, no, if you work with them all the time, it doesn't mean anything. Right. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah.
Great cat. I never see owls. And I saw one on June 24th. Still waiting for my bad news.
On June 24th.
Maybe it was a UFO or something.
Well, that's interesting. Sometimes owls too are not only personal. They're not always about you. They can be about people in your surrounding, like to sort of kind of pay attention about somebody being deceptive or they can be a messenger of someone else you know who's going to have a hard time. They're not always personally bad for you. They don't come as always messengers like that. Yeah.
I think Laura Mar was talking about all the wildlife out in her area. It's good food for the owls. Probably true. Okay, great cat. Okay. What's a meeting of grasshoppers? I don't know. What was that show in the 70s? Grasshopper.
The grasshopper in the ant.
Yeah, grasshoppers are about taking leaps because they take these massive leaps. They're little tiny things that go boing, So they move forward really.
It sounds like you had a cute one, Great Cat.
Yes.
It was the tiniest one last night. It was longer than my pinky nail and lettuce green.
Oh, that sounds so cute.
I saw one of those too the other day. I don't like them because they eat my garden, but
I love grasshoppers. So they're actually also supposed to be like in Asian cultures, a symbol of good fortune and prosperity and luck. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
He's just talking about
it.
Freaking out.
Freaking out. Hey, Great Cat. Yeah, well, this is a place to freak out. Welcome to the fold. Okay.
Yeah, big leaps. Yep. Big leaps. Mm-hmm. It's a good sign.
Okay. Aww. And it was really adorable. Okay.
Yeah. I love grasshoppers. So cute.
All right. So now on to our next ad. Oh man, this is going slow. My internet is just awful right now.
You kind of get blurry too sometimes too. I noticed. Now she's stuck. No, you're there. Okay, you're getting blurry. It kind of comes blurry and then it goes back and then it's blurry a little bit. Is she frozen now?
Etiquette thing.
Okay.
Oh, we already talked about that.
Okay, I'll do this while oh man.
She's going in and out of dimensions.
She is. She's being sucked into a portal right now.
Who's going in after her?
Yeah, I was talking about the Ouija boards. Yeah. Oh, anything anybody has? I can tell a story about a Ouija board. One time my husband wanted to play around and he was kind of like joking around. So we're playing with the Ouija board. And so he's like, so give me a name and a phone number to call. So we get this name and we get a phone number and he calls the phone number and says the name to the person. Right. And so he gets the phone number, calls, he goes, is Michael there or whatever the name was? And the person goes, "Who is this? This is the hospital." And I was like, "Oh my God." It was some hospital number, like a private number in the hospital. And the person got freaked out, and he got freaked out and he hung up immediately. That's my Ouija board story. That was kind of weird. Kind of goofy.
Like that book I did recently on phone calls from the dead.
Yes. I've heard stories. I've heard other stories I've heard a lot of stories about that back in the 70s and the 60s.
Oh, it's still happening, but it's emails or texts.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah.
Am I back?
You're back now. You're back now.
Now I jumped onto the Starlink. There's like, I didn't catch what you guys are saying, but Gray Cat says I'm always meaning to have a seance.
Yeah.
I think twice about that.
Yeah, I would think twice about that too.
Make sure that I had heavy duty protection.
Yeah, you got to be careful who and what you invite in.
Yeah, that's the thing. You just don't have as much control over it as you think you do. You know?
No.
Well,
okay.
I think if you do it with somebody, yeah.
Our next one is AI etiquette.
Oh God.
Now that I don't know much about. I
Well,
don't know that much
one of
about
the
that.
things is, do you say please or thank you, or how do you deal with AI? I don't know if you
I
guys
had a
even
fight
use
with
it very
AI
much.
This morning. Funny you should ask. 40 minutes on the phone with Old Navy trying to track down an order and some stupid AI going, "I'm sorry you're going through that. Is there some way that I can help you?" I
That
said,
is
"Yeah,
annoying.
make me a human being." And we went around in circles.
That
until
really drives
finally
me nuts.
Click. Yeah, and I thought I was being hung up on, but then they gave me a call center in India, and that was a whole other.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
That's how it is now. It's
God.
annoying. I know.
I told this poor woman, I said, "Look, this is not your fault, and I know it's not your fault, but if you have the ability to pass messages on over your head, let them know that the lack of customer service because of AI and call centers is, I'm not going to be an Old Navy customer anymore."
Wow.
I'm not going to go 40 minutes of my life for what?
I know.
A tank top? I don't think so.
Right. I know. Yeah. It's everything's like that now. And it's only gonna get worse like that. I mean, it just continues to get worse. They're just getting rid of
I tend to be very polite with AI, even to.
Me too.
I do too. Yeah.
And
Please,
I am.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with other people, but I have found that the one that drives me crazy is Copilot, that just comes right in your Microsoft Word.
Oh, I hate that too. It's super annoying. And you have to click it off. It's like, why are you doing that? It's invasive.
Just like trying to be so
Rude.
Nice all the time. It's like,
I don't like it.
"Oh, I'm sorry," because, and they keep changing around the icons. So it's like, I want to put a footer in a document, and then they change where it is, and I'm trying to find it.
But yeah.
So you type, well, we have to, because everything with the
I don't
course
use it,
is
but you know
all-
what? It's still like, I'll be in the middle of something and it will be like advertising in the middle of something. Like, what? I don't want to use Copilot. I have to click it off. Like, leave me alone with this. It's super annoying.
Well, I was trying to find something, and and we have to use it because there's a certain format, and
Sure.
the state requires us to use Microsoft Word. This damn Copilot shows up in there, and I'm not one to swear or really talk that way. I just, probably my upbringing, but
Yeah.
I mean, I just finally did, and it finally shut it off because I couldn't. It was just like screwing up my document and changing things to what I didn't want to say, and I just got so
really messed up.
angry. I mean, I was ready to just take my computer and throw it in the street. I was so mad.
Yeah.
Like, you're
But you're not
wasting.
dealing- it doesn't matter if you swear at it. You're not dealing with a human being.
It shut it down. It actually shut it down because it's a.
Really?
It was like, well, this is not productive, and it was like, good, because you've just wasted 2 hours of my morning.
Wow.
Because I couldn't get into something to do it because
Wow.
the damn AI kept popping in there and trying to do what it wants to do. And we've got
That's
certain
messed up,
formats,
dude. That's not good.
Yes.
That's not good.
and we've got certain formats that we have to use. It's mandated, and I don't want AI coming in there and screwing up what I'm trying to do. And you can't build your time for that. And so it just wasted a half day of income.
Wow,
And
that's
I
messed
mean,
up.
I was furious. I was
I
so
don't blame
mad, and
you.
I just threw out a bunch of like swear words at it, and it literally shut down. it was like, "Look, this isn't productive," and it was like, "Fine, f you," and it shut down. And it was
Wow.
like,
Well,
okay.
that's good. We have
So
to swear
if it
it more
does
often.
that, just do that. But normally,
Wow.
I'm not that way when I.
Well, that what Helen is talking about with those like AI assistants that you like when you call in
It is.
someplace and you have to like
Yes.
deal with them, like going round and round and round. Well, if you do this or go to my website or press 1 or blah, 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 and you're like, I just want to talk to a freaking human. That does drive me insane because it's like,
Oh, yeah.
come on, you just want to talk to a person. That's why I'm calling on the phone. I know you have a website. I'm not a mental midget. I mean, most people know there's a website.
Yeah, that's what gets me. Yeah, it does. It treats you like you're an idiot.
Yes.
And it's like, I just, that drives me nuts. Anyway,
Yeah.
You know what drives me nuts is when people use personal pronouns talking about AI. I remind people.
I've never heard anybody do that. Really?
People will talk about my AI stuff, they, whatever. And I keep saying, it's not a they, it's an it. It's a thing. It's not a person.
Right.
I still think they made a mistake calling it artificial intelligence. They just should have called it something like enhanced computer. Because when you put the word intelligence in, then people automatically equate it to consciousness or another human, and then they're going to be that way.
Right.
If you just said, the enhanced database, people would not personify it as much.
Well, it's those smarmy voices. I'm sorry. What can I do to help you with that? F off. Just F off.
You know what? I mean, you guys know, like a few years ago, I think it was the UAE that actually voted to give AI personhood. I think it was AI.
I remember that.
There is somewhere, and I've been covering that quite a bit in other venues. It's a fascinating thing, and
it's not a good thing, I don't think, though, because it shouldn't have.
Well, then you've got some states.
Then it has light. That has rights.
You have you've got different states. Utah comes to mind the first that they have explicitly have put in their legislation. No, we are never going to grant this personhood. And then the problem comes in. Now you've got Trump saying, no, we need to trump all these state laws. The federal needs to prevail. And so they're ignoring what the states want to do.
That's not good.
And this is also moving into, you see a lot of towns and a lot of places. People are pushing back. They don't want big data centers.
They don't want the data centers. That's right.
And so they're enacting moratoriums, different things like that. And so this administration,
this in itself could become like a civil war situation over AI.
I believe that it will.
Yeah.
And then the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that for every 5 of these that they announce, they only construct about 1. But it already creates like this tax area, or maybe you're going to take land by eminent domain, or they're doing other things to put it in place. So this whole thing is just, it's the one area I have to say where the left and the right are working together because they don't want this crap in their backyard. They just don't.
Right.
And it's kind of transcending this thing. Political party stuff, because nobody wants their water to be brown or gone or what have you.
And especially now when climate change, July, I don't know if you heard this, was the hottest month ever recorded in history since records been kept. And we have climate change escalating and water already becoming a problem and fires going on everywhere. And it's like, really? We're going to spend all of our resources and water to have AI so it can take everyone's job while people's houses are burning down? That's ridiculous. I mean, it's so inane. I have to wonder, like, what's going to happen first? Are we going to blow ourselves up before we build AI? Or, you know what I mean? I kind of wonder if AI is just not going to really fully happen the way that people think, because we are in such dire situation with climate stuff. And
well, that's where I'm at, is that.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, military people that I know that have worked in it, I mean, they've been working on AI since the 60s.
Yes.
So what we see publicly, there's a vast amount that we don't know.
That's right.
And so that's why I kind of suspend my opinion on a lot of this, because I think there's a lot that we don't know. But just on a practical level, how I am looking at this is that I don't think our environment can support it.
I don't either.
Now, if they get quantum computing with a quantum chip, that something this big can do what a whole big data center can do.
Right.
So
then
that's
it could
a
work.
whole other thing. But
and maybe if AI gets smart enough, it can invent a system like that.
Well,
but how long is that going to take for that?
Well,
thing
actually,
to happen?
Google's pretty close on a quantum computing.
I've heard
chip.
that, but they've been saying that for a couple of years, though, haven't they?
They have, but they're getting closer, and there's some science papers coming out. So who knows? But the thing is, yes, the climate is not.
It's not sustainable the way that it is now.
No, the Lake Mead is now down to 27%.
Good Lord.
Lake Powell is at 22, and it just keeps going lower and lower. And people are looking at these reservoirs, right, as something. I reported on one in New Mexico. Their largest water reservoir is called the Elephant Butte, New Mexico. Helen knows about this, and it had dropped to 1.4%.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
And so then they're like dredging up all of this like silt and stuff like that and cleaning it out. I mean, here in the West, the one good thing we're like, oh, come on, El Nino, because it's supposed to bring a lot of snow out here.
Right.
Supposedly.
Yeah, but it's not a normal El Nino.
Right.
It's a super El Nino. And the last time there was a super El Nino was like in the late 1800s. And it raised global temperatures 3 degrees. Right. And caused famine and flooding.
And that's another point where some of these, I have been reading that some of these data centers can't handle the extreme heat that's coming either.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, they can't.
And so
melting them.
Yeah. So I think personally where I'm at, I kind of think the climate is going to prevent some of this because it's going to be bad.
Too. I agree.
Grocery prices they're going to be so bad.
I agree.
They are.
I know, but it's going to get worse. I think it's going to get
multiplied by 10. What were you going to say, Helen? Jeffrey
Hinton, who is considered the father of AI. He invented the language. He quit recently at Google, and he said he did it not because he's got a beef, but because he wants to be able to criticize freely, praise and criticize freely without being accused of nepotism or whatever. But he said that he regrets contributing to AI, that he feels that we do not know what the monster that we've created. It's completely out of control, and he fears that it is existential, up to like 70% chance.
I've heard some people say as much as 90.
Yeah, I've heard that too. And there's no guardrails at all, and they're in this fierce competition. Like, we got to beat China at this, and China is
but China's not even doing.
They're more advanced than we are actually.
But they're also not going for AGI. They're not going for general intelligence. They're keeping it
using
narrow.
They're using it in a more environmentally sound way.
Right.
And so, for instance, Chinese DeepSeek. It does not. It requires what? I don't have this, so don't hold me to this. But I think it's like a quarter of the power and resources that all of our AIs, because they are more conscious about it, and they even put a law in that you cannot use AI to replace humans in jobs. So
that's
China
what I'm saying.
Has a sense of ethics with theirs.
Well, and that's one of the things they're doing is they're programming in, not what Americans are doing. They're programming in, what's it called? Confucianism and Taoism principles into their AI stuff. So they're providing it with kind of
a moral compass,
compass that we just don't seem to think we even need.
That's true.
And this is the thing that why this comes up as this AI etiquette, because there is actually an intellectual argument going on right now that if you are using AI and you use manners and you use politeness and you use kindness with it, that's actually kind of programming it in too. And so, because I don't know how much of a counterbalance there is, but that has been an argument that I have seen. And even Mo Godot and all of those have been talking about etiquette when you use AI.
It makes sense. It makes sense. It does make sense. And it's interesting, though, the difference between what China is doing and what we are doing, from what I've heard and read, is that we are trying to we're trying to build artificial intelligence that can do everything and anything better than any human being can ever do it, than any expert. So that's what the general intelligence, building a super intelligence. It's like an overlord. What China is doing is they're using artificial intelligence in very specific things for specific purposes. They're going, we want to build a better car. Let's build an AI that totally can build a better car. Or we want to fix this government problem. This AI is dedicated to that, and that's it. So they're using it in a much better way, I think.
Yes.
Just to kind of like, which the way everybody should be using it to sort of help with, as a tool to make the system work better.
Because I think it's got great potential for like environmental stuff to really understand, like how to manage the Colorado River, how to do but the thing is, if they're putting all this garbage in and just violence and war,
right.
We got to beat everybody else. I don't see how that's helpful.
Well, look who's creating it. People like Peter Thiel and Elon Musk. I mean, those are the people, running
they're funding it.
The tech.
They're funding it.
But their influence is it's a heavy influence in that whole industry of Curtis Yarvin and the Dark Enlightenment, and it is nihilistic.
I heard this morning, I was listening to something, and they were talking about, because there is a financial bubble going on here that they're predicting. So it's like, so where are they getting this cash, right? Well, I was listening to something today. I don't know what,
they're
because
moving
I was
it
getting
back
ready
and forth
for the office. Well, not only are they doing that, but some of these private equity firms now that are lending private funds, they are actually life insurance companies. And so they're tapping people's life insurance funds to pay for this crap. And the question is like, well, what happens then if you can't pay people's life insurance policies?
That's really messed up.
Wow.
And there's and they were talking about how this is like this loophole, because there isn't really like the FDIC, supposedly protecting your bank account. And so it's like,
that's
so if you've been paying into life insurance, yes, pull out the Ouija. Well, kind of back on topic here. So Tarot, what was the real name here? Jeff? They work. Oh, I think he's talking about seances.
They work, yeah.
In 1996. Oh, maybe he's talking about Ouija boards. In 1996, that thing moved like I couldn't believe. It was my first occult experience. My friend Christine gave her bear to take home permanently,
I think she gave
and
him
the spirits came with it.
Oh, the board.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Yes, Clippy Helper.
Oh, that's right. That's funny. I forgot about that.
No.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that's etiquette there. My dad had driven drunk for years.
As soon as Luigi came home with LOL, he got his first DUI in Maine. Wow.
Oh, so maybe that.
Wow.
Maybe it wasn't bad spirits. Great.
You cannot even go on Amazon without Alexa annoying you.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have Alexa.
I don't either. I don't either.
I don't understand why you want it.
It's
creepy.
Like,
yeah, I don't have that either.
I have a parrot.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
I have a cat.
I have a cat, 2 cats and a dog. Yeah.
Whoops! I meant to show the next thing, and what did I do?
I don't know.
Okay. Here we are. There's a bunch of them, so I'm kind of. Oh my. Okay. I'm just like, why is everyone in our government so insane? I'm so with you. I don't get it.
Greed. It's runaway ego and greed.
Did you guys happen to see
it's a mirror.
Was on Kyle's Secular Talk? He had a thing today, and I kind of watched a little bit of it, where he was showing, it was just the most insane visual I think I've ever seen in my life. So here's Trump sleeping, and then there were these people behind him, and then Kennedy was talking, and it's like he's got Parkinson's. So he's got this paper that's, I mean, go look at that. It was just the craziest.
I haven't seen it.
And I was just like, this is like, the young woman was standing on the other side.
Yeah, and she would push like this button to wake him up.
Are you serious?
Rubbing her belly the whole. Was she pregnant and want the world to know? She was just doing.
It sounds really bizarre.
I was fascinated. Like, what
well, Kyle was trying to say it was some kind of button that would like buzz Trump to wake up.
No, I've seen other young women do this when they're first pregnant, and they're like, "Oh, look at me! I'm the first one who's ever had a baby," and they're just doing this to their tummy the whole entire time. That's the vibe I got. I could be wrong, but
it was the most bizarre thing. And anyway, I just watch it, and it was like, you know what that is? That just pictures everything that is going
Right.
on right now.
That's
it was just
The
like the
lame and the
perfect. So, I have heard this too, Tiffany. Thank you for that. I also have been hearing the fires are burning too hot for it to be a normal fire. Suspicious, possibly energy weapons. I have heard that.
Oh, God,
Was
that's
it the
horrible.
one near Seattle, an arsonist? Didn't they
Yeah,
get
it was
an
an
arsonist
arsonist.
on
Yeah.
that one? But
Yeah.
I have heard that there, it might be some kind of a weapons test kind of thing. But I
Wow.
haven't researched it, so I don't know.
Well, they're happening everywhere too. I mean, they're happening in France, they're happening in Europe, they're
Yeah.
happening all over the globe. So I don't really know about that. But the reason they're burning so hot though is because it is so hot. And what can happen
Yes.
in really bad, like if uncontained fires, wildfires, you can get what's called a fire tornado, which is actually where it
Oh,
turns
yeah.
into like a tornado of fire, and then
Been
it
there.
really escalates it. And in a fire burning for a long time that has winds like that, wind shear, and also like
Oh, they create their own storms.
they
It's
create their own
amazing. Yeah.
storms. Yeah, and they're in the heat from how hot it's been outside. I don't know. I mean, wouldn't need an energy weapon for that, but it's possible.
It's
But
what
I
the
have
American
I have been
military
seeing that.
did to Dresden and Rotterdam during World War II. They killed tens of thousands of civilians in one night by incendiary bombing the entire cities.
Oh yeah, they did that in Japan too. Yeah, we did that to the Japanese. Yeah.
Crystal, good question. And I have a water site because I work in water, and this has been first time I talked with Denise. It's what I brought up. I have been worried about this for a long time. The Hoover Dam.
Yes.
It now reached the lowest since it was constructed. The lowest level. The last I reported it was like 1,040.5. If it drops down, and then what's going on is that basically the administration is cutting Arizona out. I mean, there's a whole
I
big
heard about
debate
that.
over that. But it's called the law of the river, so it's more nuanced than people just saying he's targeting Arizona. There's a lot of nuance to it, and the law, and that's what bothers me about so many YouTube videos. They just like,
Right.
and they don't know what they're talking about.
Sure.
But we are getting to, and I have to say, for many, many years, I have felt something is going to happen to that dam.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's going to crack. It could from the heat even. I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Just an intuitive thing. I have
Yeah.
just felt something is going to happen. But yes, we are very worried about that.
Can
and
I
what's
can I
going
ask
on.
you how close is it to being a problem right now with the Hoover Dam?
All I will say is very. Usually on Saturdays, I do my reservoir reports. I'll know more on Saturday, but I always look at the data. It's very close. Right now, they cut out 40% of the electrical operating, so it's down to
Wow.
60.
Wow.
And the thing is, you're talking about 44 million people rely on that dam,
Right. Yeah.
and they rely on that for their power. And they do
Right.
put on, and then also you've got Glen Canyon Dam, which is Powell Reservoir. So that's like on the Utah-Arizona border. And then water releases out of Powell into Lake Mead, which is like the Nevada, California, Arizona, and there.
Right.
And it's very serious. And people don't understand. They say, oh, just move the farms out east. Well, that... I'm going to
It's
do
not.
a video on the other
What?
channel about how that's. People say that it's like
What do
black
they
and
mean
white.
by that?
Why
What do
would
they
you
mean?
move a
Oh,
farm?
The Western people don't need that water. Just move them out east instead of worrying about all this.
Well, what are
water.
you supposed
But
to
the
do? Are
thing
you going to
is-
just invent a whole new landmass to move people to? I mean, people
well,
live
yes,
out
and
east.
that's what.
I
On
mean,
my
that doesn't
other
make
channel,
sense.
I have a very interesting, some of them far right, some far left, some just skeptics. This is a very interesting, some very religious. It's just an interesting, and the water thing just really riles people up
Oh,
because
sure.
they know how serious this is. And they don't realize how much food comes out of California and
Yeah,
Arizona.
a lot.
And
it's huge
you
production.
see all of this. Probably one of the people may
Central
not
Valley.
like to hear what I have to say on this, but I think one of the best things is to stop eating meat. That could
Oh,
be
yeah.
probably one of the biggest things you could do to help save water because so much of it is used
Use
for hay production, alfalfa
ranching.
production,
Right.
all of that. I think I did a thing on Substack about just the sheer amount. I mean, we would cut it to like a quarter of our water use if we just stopped eating meat. It's just huge,
Right.
the difference.
Deborah, which of those lakes was man-made? Was it Lake Mead?
Both of them.
Okay.
Just about
when
everything
I was
is man-made.
Child, I remember very clearly. I mean, we're talking 1958, 59. I remember really clearly ads.
How old are you? You're not that old.
4.
Okay, I was gonna say you were really little, weren't you?
Yeah,
Like a little
well, I
kid.
remember
Okay.
them. I remember when I was
Right.
born. So anyway,
Right.
ads on television for buy your vacation land on the lake.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
New sportsman's paradise.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Just the
Not so much.
observation that was then.
Wow.
This is now.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
what's going to
Jeff says-
happen when all of that goes away? I mean, what's going to happen?
Well, and the other thing people don't realize is how groundwater is disappearing. So he just mentioned Silicon Valley. I think in the Sacramento Valley.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yes.
did a report about this because I read all these weird science stuff and turn them into articles. And so I was reading about how the aquifer there has hit the point of no return.
Right.
I mean, all the groundwater is gone, and it's become so dry and compacted that even with a good rain, it's not going to refill the aquifer.
It just kind of like
It's-
repels it.
Yes,
It
and
stays
so
on the surface. Yeah.
this is a
Unless it's
worldwide
flooded.
problem, and this is why I say I am way more worried about the climate than I
Yes.
am about anything.
Same.
Well, didn't you write that article about the Ogallala water aquifer? That
I only do the Colorado River Basin there, but
Okay,
yes, I'm
somewhere
very
I read
aware
that.
of it. Yes, it's very serious.
8 states will have no water, and it's almost empty.
Well, and they're putting these data centers right there. The ranchers up in northern Texas are just like livid. They can barely
should
have
be.
enough water as it is, and then they want to
Yeah.
put in these huge things that are sucking everything out, and it's just
That's
like
horrifying. It's so
Um,
insane. It's so self-destructive. It's mind-boggling. It's so
exactly.
destructive. Yeah, it really is.
So
Well, you
Silicon
reap
Valley said
what you
10 years
sow.
ago. Let me catch up on some of these comments so I don't lose everybody. You're right there, Jeff.
Utopia.
Okay. 2 creators rarely control. So true. Yeah, I get mad because I never use Alexa. And then it shows up on your Amazon. This is true. Hi, I'm Melissa. Well, hello,
Hey,
Melissa.
Melissa. What are you doing?
I think we had a second New Zealand. Hey.
Yeah, New Zealand is
Right
cool.
on.
Yeah, New Zealand,
Fires,
stop
yes.
bragging.
Spokane fires. Yeah. 2 or
Oh,
3.
he started 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
admitted to 20. Here's the rest of it. Pitch from evergreens makes trees explode. So true,
Oh,
HB.
yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
yes. Like the movie
Ivan
Ivan
Almighty.
Almighty. I don't know what that is.
No, that movie is.
I'm not very culturally
Right.
Evan Almighty is a movie with Jim Carrey, and he
It's
gets
not
to be
Ivan.
God or something.
No,
like
it's not
that.
Ivan. It's a different name than
Evan.
that.
Oh.
There's
Evan.
two
Evan
of them.
Almighty. Yeah, Evan.
Evan
Evan. Yeah, Evan
There
Almighty.
are
Yeah, that's
2.
right.
One with Steve Carell, the other with Jim Carrey.
Oh, so there was one named Ivan? I didn't see that one.
Evan.
Evan
I don't know
Almighty.
about Ivan.
Yeah, okay. That's why I was confused.
What is MIAO?
Laughing my
In-
ass off.
Laughing Maya. Let's just move the 5th largest economy.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
About
Good
these
to
people
know.
like, oh, just move it out east. It's just like
It's
I see
insane.
this, and I have a couple commenters there though that just like show up and they like they're real skeptical and hardcore science people, and so they're just like it's entertaining. So okay, Jeff, I am feeling it has been so hot this summer. I remember being a kid, and it's never been as scorching
Yes.
hot in the early 80s. Last week at 95, it was untenable.
Yeah, I know. It's really
I
bad.
bet if you have
really bad.
humidity, it's even worse. It's got to be awful.
Eh.
Oh, it's called organic promotions. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
that one is more the rural stuff and water stuff and kind of like not metaphysical, but it's interesting over there. Watch the movie
Definitely.
Ivan Almighty. It's about a big dam bursting. I think, was it in
Ah.
Washington? I'll have to
Interesting.
find
I
that.
think it's Evan.
Yeah, I'll have to look for that.
Maybe. I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, I thought it was Evan, but it could be Evan. Denise
Denise
had
had,
the. Oh, sorry. You go ahead. Read it.
Okay, Denise had the most compellingly incisive argument about climate change and the migrant crisis and people in this country having to have their homes sold. And in these areas, the fiefdoms can start.
Yeah. So I think what he's referring to is, that the people who are doing the AI stuff, Bruce Almighty, yes, and then Evan,
yes, okay,
yes, yeah, is that these guys who are tech guys, right? Yeah, Evan Almighty was a sequel. That whole Dark Enlightenment thing, they want to basically take over and use AI, and then they're going to go into their bunkers and come out when everyone's killed everybody, and
they want to
start their little kingdoms, corporate monarchy,
serfs.
Right. And so what they know, they have to know that they're going to destroy the environment, and people are going to die and have to migrate, and there's going to be civil unrest. I mean, this is why they are building bunkers. They know that this technology is going to be so disruptive if it ever gets to where it's going to get to. I mean, we'll have to see. You know what I mean? They are talking about it as if it's an inevitability, but if there's not enough power, there's not enough water, if there's fires burning and they get blown up in fires and stuff, it may never get to the place where they think it's going to get. We just don't really know, because the best laid plans. You know what I mean? But
my view on it is never underestimate Mother Earth, because I just think at some point the climate, it's not going to put up with it.
I agree with you.
Stop it.
I think that's true. But he is saying what he's saying. I think if they can collapse the government and create chaos, that is the plan, I think, is to create these little fiefdoms.
Everybody will be a serf. We'll be living in enslavement.
That's their plan. Whether they get to do it, well, that's a whole other matter,
And this government is singular. Good question. I have seen some people saying it's possible that singularity could be next year. I saw something about that the other day. Yeah,
I've heard people say from next year till 2030. They believe it's in the next 3 years. That's what I've heard. Yeah. We'll see.
Well, we're at 2 hours. We haven't finished our etiquette. You want to pick it up a little later, or here's the best one. Let's close it up. Close up our etiquette segment with this is a good one.
Okay.
If an alien comes, how do you greet the alien? And so I wanted to show. I haven't read the book yet.
Depends on the alien, probably.
No.
So I bought this one. When I was older with Justine. And so Neil deGrasse Tyson wrote, "Take me to your leader. Perspectives on your first alien encounter." So I haven't read it yet, but it's supposed to be really funny.
I bet it is.
I might start on this tonight.
That sounds fun.
And then if you guys want a moral challenge, we can do that too. But let's go around. Bove, if you met an alien, your first encounter, what would you do?
My very first thought was nanu.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cute. But what about you, Denise?
I have met aliens.
You already had them.
I've met aliens. Depending on the alien, your first thing isn't to really be able to think clearly, because it's so weird that you kind of are reactive, and depending on the white tall ones are not so scary, but the grays are pretty creepy, and they feel very predatory. So your first feeling is to be like kind of freaked out by them. So fear is usually the first thing that happens when you see a gray.
Yeah. Krista Marie, it's always good to have you whenever you have time to join. So thank you for joining us. Thank you. Yes, Tapioca. Yes, Mother Earth is strong as an elastic. I just hope she doesn't decide to get rid of us in the process.
She's in the process.
Right? She is in the process of doing that. Yes. Yeah, she is. Yeah.
So Helen, how would you greet? What would your behavior be in the first alien encounter?
I'd say welcome, and I'd excuse myself, and I'd go to bed and eat chocolate.
That's always your answer. I'm going to go eat chocolate.
You
must love chocolate.
I am not compelled to live forever, and I'm not prepared to live in a world ruled by computers that are devoid of empathy. I find that they're psychopathic, and I want no part of it.
And they breed that. They breed that psychopathic.
Yeah, they do.
I'm a person from a former time. I'm just not,
You're not into it.
I don't have any antipathy for aliens. They're fine. We're all probably aliens,
Right.
I don't care. I'm neutral about that.
Right.
But I just, I don't know.
Chocolate is good. Chocolate is good. Why not go have some chocolate?
Just give you a piece of chocolate. I mean, the only dream stuff or whatever that I've had with them, it's not like communication at all. It's just sort of like you're there, kind of. Well, there you are. But the only one where it was I felt like there was communication. I don't even know how to explain it. Was with those cat beings.
Right, but those guys are nice, though.
And they were really cool. And so
they're nice.
First thing I said to them was, "Where are we?" That was it. But there was no fear at all.
Well,
with it.
Depends.
The other stuff I had fear, so it would be run.
Yeah, it depends on the alien, really.
Yeah.
But also it depends if it's mental or spiritual kind of interaction, or if it's a physical encounter. The physical encounter is weird. It's creepy. Yeah. Because it's you're looking at something is, it's like if you were to meet a lion, just staring at you. It's
out of place.
Yeah,
and it's
it's out of place. Right. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if it was a physical, one at your door, it would be very different.
It's different.
From, the spirit kind of things.
Yeah.
The spiritual one. Yeah.
Oh, Helen. Welcome. Lunch will be at noon. See you later.
I'm going to go have some chocolate.
The first time I returned to Canada after the 2016 election, I'd be inclined to do that with an alien. My first inclination was to apologize profusely. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened after the election.
Yep.
I would apologize because the only reason they're coming here is to pick up pieces,
So an Easy Life says, my husband had an encounter during dream state. I wrote about it on your dream page. I read that one. My daughter had a sighting of a triangle craft a few months before my husband's. Well, that's interesting. Before her.
Yes, that is actually common for those.
What was funny about same night of his dream, I woke up to footsteps in our bedroom.
Yeah.
I knew someone was there, but didn't see anyone.
Oh yeah.
That is very cool.
That's a really common thing that happens in the phenomenon is that there's that's where the whole, I think it was Linda Moulton Howe coined the phrase, what is she? What's my brain? I'm too tired.
I don't know what you're getting
high
at.
strangeness. High strangeness.
Oh.
High strangeness is when you have an encounter and then there's all this other residual kind of weird paranormal stuff that also happens around it. It's really common when you see a UFO.
This season on Skinwalker Ranch is very interesting. I don't know if you've watched what's going on at the homesteads. It's very interesting. So it's kind of bringing all that kind of to. It's
you gotta
very
be careful watching that.
Huh.
I do on my exercise bike.
I'm not sure.
If you don't have a hitchhiker.
Well, yeah, when I read the book, I was like, oh, yeah.
Wait, Skinwalker Ranch?
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the guys that was researching there went back to his office, and there was a young woman who was in the cubicle next to him. Her brother in another state started having paranormal experiences.
Wow.
And he didn't know anything about any of it,
Right. Came through
and
her.
rubs off. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
They call them hitchhikers.
Yeah.
So Tapioca, you don't know who is the predator or prey when meeting an alien. Good point.
Yeah, you usually think it's them though. That's the predator, and you're the prey. Yeah.
Okay, so here is our final etiquette topic before we close it tonight. Imagine the world has gone to hell.
There's very difficult
food.
Hard to imagine.
There's no food. Gas is $25 a gallon.
Oh, good
The
Lord.
power is out. But you've been preparing. You've got your solar generator and you've got cans of food and rice and some things. And your neighbor comes over who hasn't prepared at all. And they say they're starving. What do? Do you feed them or what do you do?
You feed
Both
them.
you start. Here's is the first.
Sorry.
What is the
Feed.
morality or ethics of it?
You feed.
You feed them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just it's all the Italian mother in me. Come, sit down, I will feed you.
Okay, so then let's take this. The whole neighborhood is like that, though, and now they know you're an open book. Do you just allow yourself to just give it all away after doing that?
No, there has to
So
be
how do you
boundaries.
stop it? See, if you start it, do you?
Yeah,
how do you
that's
stop it?
a good question. And also, what if you don't know how long your food is going to last you? What if
Yeah,
it's only
and
going to
you
last you a
don't.
week or two?
And that's it, Denise. There is no way of knowing. When
That's
Yeah.
why
things
you have to
turn to
read.
shit, it's going to be a fucking
That's right.
guessing game.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why you have to read Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning, before all this happens.
Okay.
They're the predator.
Get
Yes,
straight with
definitely.
your moral code. Yeah.
Can we barter? That's probably
I
the
think
best way to
that's
deal
where
with
it's
it.
going to be.
That's what you'd have to do is
And
barter.
that was I thought about that a long time
Yeah.
because I was just thinking, okay, what's the ultimate in ethics or morality? And for me, that would kind of be it. I was just thinking,
Right.
And my first thought was kind of like Bove, so well, I'd feed them. But then I thought, well, then everybody who hasn't bothered, then they're all going to be, well, here's easy prey. And then
Well,
they
and
take
you
it
could
all
also be hurt. You could also open yourself up
Right.
to someone trying to invade your house or
Right.
rob you. So you'd have to kind of come up with some kind of bartering system. Like, yeah, I'll give you.
and that's what I
this for
kind of
that.
came to.
Yeah,
Kind of
Right.
like,
have to.
okay, well, you can have some food, but you have to work for it. You're going to be my
Right.
guard here. You
Right.
have to, you guard this, and we'll enter a partnership if they
right.
have nothing.
Something like that. Yeah, right.
That's kind of where I would go. But seriously, I mean, but then if they come and they have a child, I mean, I
The
think
child
we
would be
may
different.
be facing
Yeah.
some of our greatest moral questions.
Yeah, I
That's
think you're right.
If
I
it
think
gets
you're right.
this bad.
It's like,
And
who do
so-
you throw out of the lifeboat first?
Exactly. Helen.
Yeah.
Helen's right. Who do you throw out of the lifeboat first?
I think any choice you make
Yeah.
is delaying the inevitable, and you have to
That's
come
right.
to peace with that before any of this happens. That's why we talk about it and think about it now. Because,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so even though this show was meant to lighten it up a little bit, it's actually because we have a heavier question to look at, because I do think things are going to get pretty rough, and it's
Yeah,
like,
they are. Well,
what
that's
do
what
you
I
do?
did. Well, that's what I was saying. Like, people should start community gardens. What you
Yep.
could do is, like, I have seeds. I would probably say, hey, help me plant these seeds. Let's start a community garden and let's do that. And for the meantime, we'll ration food. We'll, maybe together we'll figure out how much we can
Mhm.
ration things. I mean, you'd have to work together with the whole community. You couldn't just do it with one person
Yep.
for all those reasons. Because if you started helping one person, then someone else would feel like they're not, that they're in dire straits, and it would just be like that old expression where teach a man to fish and he'll never be hungry.
Yes.
Instead of just giving the fish to someone who needs it in that moment, you're going to just deplete all the resources for everyone. So you'd have to think communally to be able to get out of that
Yep.
situation. Yeah.
So HBH, I like this, make some stone soup. Have people bring what they have.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think
right.
that's how you would create the community. That's
That's
very
right.
good, HBH.
Yeah, that's right.
We had a little
Tapioca.
dry run, pardon the pun, when we had a water crisis last year, just for one day. The entire town, I live in a small town, the entire town went absolutely batshit crazy. But I'll tell you what, I was really impressed. My circle of neighbors that surround me, we all had each other's backs. People were calling up, people were coming to the door with water. Do you have water? Do you need water?
Right. That's what
It
happened in the
was
earthquake that I went through too.
really interesting.
But
to
that's
see.
a
It was
different
fun.
thing, though. Something that's temporary than something that could be permanent.
Right. And
Yeah.
and any crisis that's long lasting, we're just delaying the inevitable. We're not going to be able to sustain ourselves off of a kitchen garden and
No, a community garden you could, if you built a community garden, if you designated a big space and everybody had to tend to it.
Right.
You could sustain yourself with that.
You haven't seen my leaks.
Unless you're in a drought and nothing's going
Unless you're in a
grow.
drought. That's true.
That's it.
Unless you're in a drought, but you could at least try,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and give people some kind of thing to work on together and build community. Yeah.
I think what we don't think
Tapioca is
about
still
is
waiting for the
anything.
aliens. she likes the adorable, cute ones.
Yeah. That's what we get. Dog and kid will eat out our food before our neighbors come around. Yeah.
But then we'll eat the dogs.
Oh.
No.
You know, didn't
No.
somebody tell?
I laughed. I was kidding.
Didn't somebody during your live, Denise, on Saturday, mention having a dream, and the dream was kind of scary, where people were taking her outside cats and eating them?
Oh, I
And
don't.
she was it was
Maybe.
on your live on Saturday. on
Okay. Yeah,
Substack.
maybe.
It
Yeah.
was kind of like a horrifying thought, but I had
I mean, that's
actually
what
had a
happened.
similar dream a while ago.
Yeah,
It
but
was
you know
like-
that does happen in places where they're really, really impoverished. I mean,
Yeah.
like before China was doing as well as it was, they would eat domesticated animals like random dogs and cats because they had no choice. Like they were starving, you know.
Yep.
It's not like they wanted to, I don't think, you know.
I
They
can't
teach.
imagine that.
I could teach, but all the kids will be
in fundamentalist Christian schools. Oh, like for the
God,
community.
No,
oh yeah.
no.
I'll give
I'll
them
give them
food
food.
when they make my credit card. I think if it got that bad, your credit card debt would.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about
It's gonna
that.
be a thing in the
Yeah.
past.
Yeah. Wouldn't have to worry
Crystal
about that.
just
I'm
laughs
learning,
about
I'm
it.
learning how to knit socks.
Yeah. Yeah, that, you know, all those kind of skills, like if you
Yeah.
have a skill, you could barter it. You know, those are the things, like if you really we're in a crisis, like people who can sew, people who can make stuff, who can knit, who can grow things, you would just have to kind of find everybody and work together. And it's the
Yeah.
only thing you
I
could
think
get
I
through
think
that.
that's how it. Trafficking will be bigger business then. All I saw for 2025 was trafficking. What kind
Trafficking
of
people?
trafficking?
Humans? Is that what you mean?
I don't know. So hopefully he can. I grew one tomato this year, and I grew up on a farm. You know what, Crystal Blue? My tomato plants are gigantic. They're like 3 feet.
But they love the
Why?
heat. They love
But
the heat.
yeah, but there's only one little tomato on there.
Oh, really?
No,
Mine are
this is
covered.
very unusual. So of course I went to YouTube to see if other people were experiencing that. And I mean, I grew up farming my whole life. I've never seen anything like this. And there were a lot of seasoned farmers all saying the same thing. That it's like
Really?
the things are not. Now, the one thing that's going like crazy for me is like lettuce and beets and that kind of stuff. And
Uh-huh.
cucumbers, but like I've never seen this before.
They
like
didn't
with
get
tomato,
pollinated, it sounds like.
apparently, or else it
Yeah.
did too late. It's just very strange. It's this one
That
little
is
tomato out of all of these huge tomato plants.
Wow,
I
that's
have
weird.
never seen it like that before. And so, yeah, there's a like if you look at those kind of homesteady sort of videos on
Right.
YouTube, I kind of like watching those, and a lot of these people are saying the same thing. Or like what does grow is really weird. Like one was saying like her zucchinis were just growing like weird gourds.
Wow.
And she was like, I have farmed for 40 years. I've never seen anything like this.
That's
So-
creepy.
So part of it, some of the debate going on like in these homestead things is it like these chemtrail things or whatever kind of chemicals that are is it
Good.
like doing something to your plants?
I don't think it has to be
Or is it
chemtrails.
or are the seeds just defective?
Well, well,
and these are even heirloom seeds. I'll tell you the one thing that has been growing. All of this stuff that I have that's doing really well are seeds that I grew myself from my previous years. They're my own seeds, and this batch of tomatoes is not. And
Right.
and then also I compost. And so sometimes things will grow in the compost, like potatoes and stuff. And that from my own stuff is growing.
right.
But my seeds that I bought it's not working this year.
Yeah, they've
It's
all
very
been
weird.
chemicalized. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
it's probably just chemical stuff like in the air and the water. I mean, I was thinking even in the rain. I mean, you remember in the 70s when everyone was like, acid rain, acid
Yeah, but
rain's
that's true.
coming. It is true. Exactly.
Yeah.
But we forget about that. The rain itself is got toxins in it. So
Yes. But anyway, I thought, oh, maybe it's just me or because it was hot. And so it's like, well, let me see what other people are saying. And a lot of people are saying that. And the ones where things actually are growing is that if it's coming from our own stuff, that it's our own seeds that we're using. And that seems to work. So I don't know if maybe some of us got bad batches or
you might have got a bad
seeds that
batch.
are.
If you buy seeds like at the grocery store or Walmart or someplace, those seeds have all been
genetically engineered.
I don't know what the term is. They've been screwed with and they're sterile.
But these are the nursery heirloom kind of seeds. And
well, that
I did when I bought my seeds this year, I did research and made sure like that it was a seed company that specialized in heirloom non-GMO self-reproducing ones. And I bought I had good luck, getting some but I didn't grow tomatoes that way. I actually went to a nursery and got a start and got the plant, and it's been producing tomatoes, just not really big tomatoes, little tomatoes. Yeah.
At least you're getting so some of my stuff is growing, but it was so strange and seeing so much of that on the internet. Healing Reiki, maybe put some Reiki on my plants.
Yeah, right. Rake it.
Where do we get our menthols? Whatever.
Does he mean cigarettes?
That's what it sounds like.
Virginia.
Helen and I are going to knock out a C's candy.
Yeah. No. She's going to do it herself, man.
Candy in this town. We have a pharmacy that has a little area that sells C's candy. So my plan, I'm going to go down there and just buy them all. Put them on the credit card.
Maybe just do it now. Put them in your bedroom. You can have them in storage. Put them in.
I have no self-control. I see the logo and I lose my mind.
My dad used to always say the best way to prepare is just have some whiskey, cigarettes, and coffee, because everyone's going to be stressed out, and that's what they're going to want, and they'll give you whatever you need. That's what he always said.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Who told me
that's on the debts. Tell that to... Huh?
I'm sorry. I used to smoke, years ago. And somebody was telling me, we were comparing prices, and someone was telling me today that cigarettes are like $15 a package.
It depends on the cigarettes. It depends on the cigarettes.
I forgot I have some experts here.
Yeah, no, it does. You go into the store, you'll see they're really wildly varied in price. And I think it depends on the state and how they tax.
And probably their taxes. I know last time I went to Wisconsin, I was shocked. They were like maybe
$5,
25% of what it is here.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends on the state.
Because the state has lower taxes on it?
Yeah, like if you're in California, yes, it's probably $15 a pack. If you're in like a southern state, you $5 you could buy a pack of cigarettes. Yeah, it's a tax thing. Yeah.
I agree, Jeff. Normally tomatoes do get huge for me.
In the right climate.
They just didn't even make the tomatoes. So, all right, let's get through these. Denise has to get to bed. Part of our lawn has been overtaken by morning glories, but there are no flowers. See, I'm telling you, there is something going on.
That's weird. Maybe it's because it's too
Spirit
hot.
Fire. There you are. Yes, we had 4 healthy tall tomato plants and only one tomato.
That's so
I'm
weird.
I'm telling you, this is a thing, and I have been seeing it.
My tomatoes are abundant right now. We only grow cherry tomatoes because the growing season's too short.
Yeah.
We're up to our eyebrows in tomatoes.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think the sun's rays are affected. There could be something to that. I mean, who knows?
I wonder if it's maybe because where you're at, like tomatoes usually like kind of hot climate, but maybe it's too hot and it's not able to like go to because it's the hottest summer ever. Like that July was the hottest ever on record.
But maybe you know what though? Where I am, it's not actually. Today was in the 70s. I mean, it's beautiful out here. My sense is there was something with the seeds because my own seeds did not have a problem.
That's probably that.
Maybe it's 3-eye atlas.
So hers are growing from the heirloom seeds too. It could, well, who knows? I was just harvesting tomatoes tonight. 500 pounds. Oh, I want some. But her zucchinis are weird looking too. Sunflowers are massive, but they're too big. The head falls down, and the green beans didn't do well either. That's just very weird.
Tomatoes?
That's a lot of tomatoes.
Acres? Oh my God!
Well, that's a lot of tomatoes.
She started that she needed to start a garden and a lot of canned food. It's combo tarot psychic and lifestyle channel. She is Aquarius. KD Moonchild's World. Okay. All right. So let me keep clicking through here real quick. Okay. Cigarettes, yes. Okay, that's the menthol. Apparently, I only grow things to feed the deer and squirrel.
Yeah, they will do that. You have to kind of cover your garden.
Tiffany, that's not a bad idea. I'm going to buy some whiskey. I bought a cigarette machine because I figured if shit hits a fan, cigarettes will be fruitful. You know what? You're probably right on that.
Yeah.
Spirit Fire Girl. I wonder if it's.
That's what I was wondering too.
Might be.
If it's pollination.
Kind of late this year. At least the ones I have are really fat and cute that came by today or this week. It was cold late in the year, then scorching hot, then back to cold. I think that's a part of it.
That could be it. Yeah.
Tomatoes need to be at 70 degrees at night to set on.
Oh, well, that could be because you live in a desert. Yeah.
Yeah, it never gets that hot here.
Not lying, Helen. I've got more too. Oh boy, you need someone to help you pick? I'll fly out there and pick. We had the heat on and the AC on the same day. True.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what happens in the desert.
Well, and that is our show. Those were the comments. Thank you, Bove, for being here. Helen,
Yeah,
I know it's a lot
you.
later
It
for
was
Helen. We're all
great
Pacific
to be
time.
here.
She's and
It's earlier. It's earlier.
Denise.
It's for me. I'm on the I'm on
Yeah.
the later side. Yeah.
so
It's 30 here.
But Dave,
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for joining us. Sorry I didn't have the phone on tonight, but it was fun anyway. And it was just a good evening.
Yeah, it was fun.
And I guess there's supposed to be meteors or something out tonight.
Yeah,
so if
there's
the
a
clouds-
Perseid meteor. Yeah, there's a Perseid
We've
meteor.
got a
Planet
thunderstorm.
lineup.
It's peaking now.
Yeah, no kinds of planets are lining up and whatever. And so
Right.
thank you, Jeff. I'm going to find out from the pro here tomorrow what it means. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Well,
Thanks for
awesome.
being
Thank
here.
you
Thank
all.
you,
Good night.
everybody.
And
Thank
see
you,
y'all
everybody.
next time.
Care.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks
Okay.
again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. We feature a live show on the first Wednesday of each month and premieres on the remaining Wednesdays. Got a story? Tell us on our message line at 928-288-2942. See you next time.